Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The best ITV certainly.
Good morning, Nigerians. Of course, good morning to viewers on independent television, and welcome to a fresh episode of TMI. I want to say happy Eid al-Maulud to our Muslim brothers and sisters on this auspicious occasion of the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, as they mark it in commemoration of that. Well, my name is Philip Omo-Gyukbo, and of course, as you know, I've got a co-anchor with me who will also be adding his voice to the issues, the nitty-gritty, the flip-flops that we usually have in the polity. Well, good morning. Good to have you join me, Lawrence Osifo.
Good morning, Philip. Good
All
morning
right.
to our viewers, and good morning to our Muslim brothers and sisters as we celebrate Eid al-Kabir or Eid al-Maulud.
All right, thank you. So quickly, let's say good morning to you, Ms. Lina Onkwo, who's always looking bright and screen savvy from our Lagos studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, Lawrence. And trust you guys are doing good this beautiful morning.
Yes, at least we hope to still continue to breathe despite the challenges we're facing. They say every day comes with his headache,
Of course.
with his wahala. And they usually say, like the adage says, that if the hunters say they will shoot without missing, the birds will decide to fly without perching.
That is, it is. It is what it is.
The big one that hits the head
Yeah.
is the challenges facing, the increased allocation as a result of the fuel subsidy cut that was done in 2023. Looking at what that was done, at the advent of the president's, assuming office. A lot has been said critically as regards the huge amount of money allocated, humongous, that's the word. I was looking for that, humongous, allocated to the subnational governments. Reports have it by the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee that within a 3-year period, the 3 tiers of government from 2023 to 2025 has shared a whooping sum of 47 trillion naira. Well, we know the federal government has got a chunk, but again, the increased allocation, like what FAC also revealed, that in 2017, there was about 5.6%, at 2017, and it rose to 21.9% at 2023, which shows a sharp increase. What these monies, the monies that have been given to the subnational government, because the governments are under pressure. We look at challenges facing our state governments, looking at the infrastructures, poor drainages, and of course it's difficult to even link states, looking at the poor road infrastructures. This again is raising concerns, and FAC has given us much revelation to talk about it.
Yeah, the fact that I anchor a business segment on this platform, I have various information concerning what FAC shares every month. Just last week, they've shared the one for last month because they shared the previous month in the new month. That is their method of sharing. Now, what they shared last month, they shared this month of August.
Yeah.
According to the statement from FAC, is the highest ever in the history of Nigeria, like you said, since 2017 to date. 3.007 trillion naira. They've never shared such amount. The highest they share is 2.something trillion. But the one for July, last month, that was shared in this August, was 3.007 trillion naira. So it shows that there's a lot of money.
Yes.
You can agree with me.
Oh yeah.
Everybody can agree. Even the president.
And even the governors can agree to that. They are not complaining.
They are not complaining anymore.
Everybody's quiet. All the governors are quiet.
Thank you. They are buying big cars and their convoys of Nigeria.
The state. What belongs to them.
Of course.
We are here again in 2017 where the president and of course other candidates vying for positions will be telling us, vote for me, vote for me. I will build bridges where there are no rivers.
Where there are no roads.
Yeah, where there are no roads. I will bring vehicles where there are no roads.
Yeah.
Now we are looking at what should be done strategically to take away bad leaders and of course place round pegs in round holes and square pegs in square holes.
But that's not the story of Nigeria.
All right.
It's a square peg in round holes and round holes.
The otherwise is the case. All right, quickly, let's join Emeka Iheanacho of Abuja studio. Good morning and welcome. While we wait for a breather on that, let's look at your records or whatever, your ventilation on this, your expression on this from our Lagos studio, Messalina.
Of the removal of fuel subsidy. We saw what Atiku came out to say, Atiku Abubakar came out to say. He said if he's been elected that he would bring back, fuel subsidy. And some persons were like, oh, these are all political, talks, saying all those things because, election is close and all of that. And you also made mention of how, we can take out the bad leaders and bring in the new ones. And you don't forget that sometimes most of these people are actually good or act good, before entering the seats, and when they're there, they changed and all of that. And what we Nigerians we're asking for, we're not asking for too much. There are a lot of persons, a lot of other citizens of other countries come to Nigeria, and the only thing that comes to their head, or when they're coming to Nigeria, or you see them on social media, is, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. Is always very difficult. It's just maybe few of them that say good of the country. They already have this thing in their head about, Nigerians, leaders being corrupt and being that. And how do we change this narrative is one, questions a lot of persons has been asking. That is why I would tell our viewers, tell the citizens of Nigerians, to come out and vote for the forthcoming 2027 election. Come out, vote the right person. You've been seeing what has been happening in the country. So if anybody to vote point or self-vote, you should check yourself. Today we are looking at 2027 election, where the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project has asked the INEC, National Electoral Commission, to disclose and publish the limits on political donations and campaigns contributions ahead of 2027 general election. They gave them a deadline of 7 days. This was set 22nd of August, and it told them within 7 days they need this information, and warning them that they're going to take legal actions if they don't get this information. They just want INEC to tell them what funds comes in, how the funds comes in, how it's being spent, and accountability. So from Lagos today, we are looking at 2027 election as a whole.
Thank you very much, Messalina. A big one, because what we're talking about concerning the allocations being shared around the subnational governments, the 3 tiers of government gulping 47 trillion naira in just a space of 3 years is a big one that, the electorate will have to use as a litmus test to see who the cap fits in 2017. Well, most especially, some of our governors will tell us that well, we are in the rainy season, so we should
I overheard our governors say that this morning.
We should wait for the rainy season to pass away.
The story remains the same.
But again, the big question is, if we prioritize our roads before the wet season,
we will not be waiting for rain. Exactly, that is what we're talking about.
And if you look at the challenges facing the Benin-Agbo road, it's quite a deteriorating challenge. I wouldn't want to go there. Let me. I was on that road for over 5-6 hours.
I went to
and
Port
even
Harcourt.
some even slept over for about 3 days.
I visited Port Harcourt sometime last weekend. Before Tuesday we came here. I went to Port Harcourt on Saturday. I came back on Monday. Port Harcourt used to be a trip of 4 hours.
Okay.
I spent 8 hours on the road. There was no road from Saple to Warri. We had to take through Abraka Road to follow one village.
Okay.
It was like a road path before we came out at Agba Road to enter Warri to Ugeli. You know, we started looking for our way. So these are the issues. There are no roads
That makes
anywhere.
you a jungle man. How did you do that?
Oh, we have to find out.
There's a cartoon. I remember there's a cartoon. What's the name of that cartoon again? You know, that jumps from Tanzania.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking
Let's quickly
about.
pause you there and let's get to Emeka Iheanacho. I understand that the network has turned you back to our presence. Good morning, Emeka.
Interesting. It's a very a challenging time, but we just have to cope with the developments as they unfold. Welcome to the Abuja Network Center. Unfortunately, we had a little network glitch, but we're back now. We'll be looking at the INEC and this proposed mock accreditation exercise, which is telling Nigerians they are going to, carry out in November. That is what we are all waiting for. We are wondering how funds for this exercise will, come, and then the number of, is going to really make them deploy a lot of ad hoc staff, and then the materials they're going to use for the process. Those are things that we're going to be looking at from this end. Nigerian politics is actually taking another dimension this time around with all the politicians, asking themselves questions. If you say you're going to do it this way, what is your plan towards that? And then they are discrediting themselves instead of telling Nigerians what they actually want to do for them. It's really an interesting period in Nigerian politics. And,
yes, Emeka.
We can't wait.
Yes, Emeka. Most especially when we're having a challenge where 47 trillion naira being shared among the 3 tiers as revealed by Federal Accounts Allocation Committee. In the space of 3 years from 2023 to 2025, these monies have been shared. And there's been this follow-up conversation over the petrol subsidy removal and the increased allocation on the state governors and the pressure on the governors to give account of the increased allocation that they got. How did they spend it? We have deteriorating poor infrastructures, along the road networks, and of course, even in domicile in the states. Decayed infrastructures, decadence in every road that we see on the states. What are your thoughts in all of this?
I mean, the onus is on these governors to show Nigerians what they are doing with the massive funds being allocated to them. It's quite disheartening that at this point in time, Nigerians are still going through this hard and very difficult time in terms of not seeing the infrastructure put in place by these state governments who appear to be the greatest beneficiaries of this subsidy removal. Unfortunately, Nigerians are not seeing what they are doing, especially in the aspect of infrastructure development. You guys have been talking about the road in between Benin and then neighboring states. It's been quite sad that people will be on the roads for several hours trying to get to their destinations. Some do not even have extra funds, perhaps to feed themselves if such time is, being spent on the road, and then it's really, really not acceptable at this point in time. That's why we are calling on Nigerians. I hear Marcelina talking about Nigerians showing up on election day and making their, voices count through their votes. But, there's this big problem that we have about Nigerians and turning out for elections. People say that the elections, their votes don't count. That's very, I don't understand how we're going to describe it, but I think Nigerians should, it's a time for them to step out and vote. Vote, first of all, because if you don't vote, those unscrupulous politicians will take advantage of the fact that you did not vote, and they will take up your vote and put it for themselves. They all know how to manipulate the system. But I just hope that with INEC's mock accreditation exercise, they'll be able to checkmate some of these excesses by the political class. Let's just hope for the better for Nigeria and be optimistic that things will eventually get better.
Yeah, Nigerians are really not going to joke with this hope thing again.
Exactly.
We want to put our feet on the ground to make sure that we tell our governors to give account. Now, I don't know, but I appreciate the efforts of the state governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo. You know, he's doing a lot, and he even made promises that...
You are not a spokesman for the state governor.
I'm going somewhere. He made promises that, you know, after this wet season is past, there's going to be much
it's
work
always
to be done
it's
in
the
this dry
same
season. But I don't know, yes, but before they say that, I don't know if the government functionaries in the Edo State government can just take a drive. Let them not fly. Let them take a drive, because I did that as a way of trying to survey how the roads are like. Hold. I moved for about 2 days.
Okay.
I moved through that part, and I spent about a night on that
road.
track. Now, and again, when I was now moving towards, you know, Delta State isn't really funny.
Exactly. It is the Edo
When I now got to the Onitsha Bridge,
yes,
I crossed Onitsha Bridge. Anambra was beautiful.
Of course, Anambra is always
beautiful.
But
we have some
state
little
anyway.
potholes
That's the
in
state
Anambra.
where my mother is from.
Yes.
It's always beautiful.
Yes, we have some little potholes in Anambra, but after you just pass through those little potholes, Anambra is
it's sweet. It's amazing.
Tell me what happens when I go to Enugu.
Okay.
Enugu is like London.
Oh, Enugu is a beautiful city.
Nylon ties. You can hardly get a pothole.
No pothole anywhere. Yeah, you won't.
Now, this is the governor, I think Peter Mbah.
Peter Mbah. He comes from PDP to
yes.
APC.
So I think there should be a tour by our government functionaries
to other states.
To go through the state roads.
Now, let me tell you.
If they go through the state roads, by the time you are coming back from Enugu down to Edo State, you will cry when you hit Edo State.
I schooled... I attended 3 different secondary schools in this city called Benin. My late dad worked with Benin Owena River Basin at Saple Road, that federal institution. We were staying there. That community is my community. As a student in secondary school, we have a staff bus that brings us to school inside the city and takes us back to the estate when we close. Now, should I shock you as a then? When I say then is not 1970, it's not, I'm talking about around 2008, 2005. When we leave Obanyato community to school, it takes us 10 minutes. The bus leaves 7 o'clock. By 7:10, we are in school. For you to know how Saple Road was.
Oh, you mean it was even better then?
I am telling you, I said 10 minutes, Philip. 10 minutes from the estate of Owena River Basin to my school. 10 minutes. That's the drive. Right. Now, when I told you I went to Port Harcourt last week, I wept. This is from the bypass to Ologbo. Before you now enter to Delta. From Delta, you start looking for road before you get to, you cannot even get to Warri. So what are we not saying? There's some people have been trapped at Benin, what is it called? Benin Agbo Road, going towards the...
I spent a night there.
Exactly. The only road we can say is good is a federal road is from Benin to Lagos. To an extent.
Well, this is a call to action.
So what
basically, the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee has really opened our eyes. But again, my eyes have been opened all
the president said they should stop building flyover. The president said that governors should stop building flyover. They should use the money for the reissues. What are the reissues? Tar the road, construct the road, leave flyover.
They say what is good for the goose is
what is good is flyover good.
The president, again, if you look at the work on the federal government roads, again, they are very, very poor infrastructure.
Some of these roads are concession.
And again, if you look at the coastal roads being built from Lagos to Sokoto,
can we not talk about the coastal roads? I don't want to
all of these humongous money debt into building roads where there are no roads.
Even our distinguished senator recently called out the Minister of Works that what did they do to the federal ministry? There's no road from Benin to Warri, there's to Delta, there's no road from Benin Edo to the east, there's no road from Edo to the north. When have you traveled towards going to Abuja?
That's what we're saying. The interstate roads are in poor, deteriorating states. And in as much as the president is saying that the governor should stop building whatever
flyovers.
Yes,
let's say what the president said.
The president also has his own blame.
Of course, the president has his own blame.
The federal government isn't also all the way.
They are not saying
the inflation rate and things that are happening. And again, next year, 2017, the election year, will Cold be experiencing
he's
a total
the chairman,
removal of subsidy from
electricity. He's the chairman of the presidential committee.
What a year to give us such a surprise. Well, the president is always giving us surprises.
Truth
like he did in 2023.
Truth is, I will always tell Nigerians, we can never have a better day ahead. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm not a prophet of doom. Nigeria can never have better days ahead. It's always worse days ahead. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, we would like you to add your contributions from Abuja studio, Emeka Yanacho, in a minute.
I have to say is this. When we talk about provision of this infrastructure, I've heard Philip talk about, sorry, not Philip, but Lawrence talk about the quality of the road while he was growing up from his home to his school then, how it has actually deteriorated at this point in time. This is the area we need to also take a look at. How, I mean, the standard of such infrastructure being put in place by these politicians who claim to be doing things for the masses. They tend to provide something that would not last because they want to divert funds, meant for, solid works to be done. They divert the funds and end up giving Nigerians, low quality infrastructure that in less than 2-3 years, you find out that rains and then sunshine wipe off all those roads that you see in the first few days of construction look
all
good.
Right.
It's quite unfortunate about what we are getting from our political class.
Quite unfortunate. I don't know if you want to give some additions on that in a minute. Messalina.
Yeah, sure. I was in Benin during the course of the weekend, and I mentioned yesterday the road that I saw is really bad, trust me. And most times, we shouldn't blame just the state government, the federal government. The citizens are also a problem, blocking drainages and all of that. I saw a video where some persons, were destroying this infrastructure. The government has done some for us, so it's left for we, the citizens, to do our part. I also saw, during a few weeks ago, we saw where guards were deployed to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road because some people, some hoodlums were there seen destroying this infrastructure. So most times I feel we shouldn't blame just the government or the state or the federal government. We as citizens, we as Nigerians, we should do our own part. We should do the right thing, not coming out destroying this infrastructure, blocking drainages. It will also affect the roads. So I mean, the government, just the Minister of Works, the state government, the federal government, they have a lot to do in terms of infrastructure.
Thank you. Well, we have the exclusive, the residual, and the concurrent list. We pray the 3 tiers of government, please. Philip, help us. Philip, we pray.
Philip, can we stop prayers in this country and be serious?
No. We just have to pray.
No.
We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Some basic things you shouldn't pray for.
All right. We'll do that after this short break. Okay. We'll take a short break, and after which we're looking at the pages of the newspaper. Do stay.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings.
On the pages of the newspaper, we're starting with the Daily Trust. And on the Daily Trust, we have there a size on the top cover page, 30 killed in attacks on 4 Niger mosques. And Governor Buni Tinubu's advisor donate 600 million naira for Jibwe's varsity. And on 2027, it says, meet the women seeking presidency, where they say what men can do, women can even do better. Well, who told you you can't lead as the president? Well, this is a call to action for women to take a dive on that.
We hope so. Let's see if we're going to have Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in Nigeria.
Exactly.
If that's
Exactly.
going to happen.
Oh, well, like the Okonjo Iweala, for instance.
That woman is
again
exceptionally
is another-
qualified. That woman is. I watched her this Delta Forum they did recently.
All right.
Oh my God, that woman is exceptionally
We'll talk about it
qualified.
later. And quickly, let's go back to the Daily Trust, and it says why Tinubu pulled back campaign cancel list, and you have that. The president has a lot to talk about. As you can see, his face shows how he wants to really express many things before 2027. All right, this says police honor 10 officers killed by bandits and missing cyclists found dead in uncompleted building. Case over status of made in Nigeria projects in courts. And of course, a lot there on the Daily Trust. All you just need to do is to get to the closest vendor, and then you internalize all of this.
All right, from Daily Trust, let's see what other of the papers is saying. Which one do we have next here? The Tribune, Nigerian Tribune is leading. NNPC, Shell, others sign Bonga West Apparel deal, target FID. That's on page 6 on the Nigerian Tribune. On page 16, police honor 10 fallen officers as IGP vows to crush banditry, others after Kebbi battle. Still on page 16, 2027, INEC yet to get full funding, 5 months to general election. INEC yet to get full funding, 5 months to general election. Let me clear my throat. Leading on the Nigerian Tribune, fuel subsidy sparks debate at MBA conference in Rivers. Yeah, the Nigerian Bar Association, my association actually, they're having a conference in Rivers, and I've been seeing the back and forth going on in Rivers and all of that. But it's all good. Fuel subsidy sparked debate at MBA conference in Rivers. Shawari, Amechi, Obi in fiery exchange. Return to fuel subsidy will reverse Nigeria's economic gains. Who is saying that? Information Minister. Return to fuel subsidy will reverse Nigeria's economic gains. I don't know what we've gained so far from this removal.
Well, a lot is said there. Okay. There's no progressive that would even give an attention to fuel subsidy.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not an advocate for that. But again, whatever is given, should be used for the betterment.
He that much is given, they say much is expected.
Yes, if you look at the scope that they got from the petrol subsidy removal,
now
again, questions have been asked. What are they using
as
those allocations for?
The idea of government is the people, right? The people are not benefiting from the removal. Please bring it back. Let's benefit from what we are benefiting from. What are our benefits?
The direction to go is to give them an agenda.
What is the agenda?
And give them an ultimatum.
Have you given your government
a deadline at which, if they refuse to do, 2017, we'll remove them.
2027. Have you given your government agenda that they followed? 2017. Let's go back to the next one.
We'll remove them. So that is the way to go.
Can you remove
It's not the aspect of bringing it back. If you bring it back, we're not going to get any result.
Philip, you're talking as if you're not a Nigerian. Sometimes when you talk, I look at you, I give you the same look.
It pains me. I lost my Mercedes car when he said fuel subsidy.
I'm aware.
Yeah, it pains me.
Your AMG.
But again, yeah, my AMG. But it pains me. But in as much as we're saying this, we need to get the right course in governance. Fuel subsidy isn't trendy
Let me
anymore.
also tell you
Nowhere in the world is fuel
Let
subsidy
me
trendy.
also tell you that the trip I went last week, I started going to Port Harcourt at a very young age for how much? 2,500 from Benin to Port Harcourt. Benin City to Port Harcourt City, 2005. Ask me how much I went last week. I will tell you.
All
because
right.
they removed your subsidy.
All right.
Okay, we'll go back to the papers where it's also leading with on page 26. 2 killed as NROTW Moto Park officials clash in Osun State. And also on page 28, JAMB automates candidates O-level results upload, begin direct verification with exam bodies. And finally, Tinubu flags off dualization of 56.5 kilometer Ibadan Ijebu Ode Road. All right, that is that on the Nigerian Tribune. Philip, let's see what's happening on the New Telegraph newspaper.
Okay, a quick one on the New Telegraph. We'll take just a couple of headlines there. And it says, why APC NWC members lost out in presidential campaign council appointments.
Our governor
and of
lost
course,
out.
A big one there.
Our dear governor, the first son of the president, lost out.
All right, this says, well, a lot we can talk about in that. But again, let's look at how we can do the needful. That's the much we can take
Absolutely.
on the pages of the newspaper.
So grab
Beg
a
your
copy.
pardon. Yeah, so
of
quickly,
any of the
we're going to be
dailies.
taking a short break, and after which we will be having on set with us the former commissioner and pioneer on public safety and security in Edo State. She served under the administration of the former governor, Nagase Obaseki, in his administration. And again, we are looking at the aspect of security and, of course, how the funding is like and how to bring public trust into governance this day.
Peace and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
tó ní wò mí. Àrùn
Well, good to have you join us, and this is a very, very sensitive topic as we look at security, accountability, and public trust, Edo under focus. And of course, joining us to discuss this, we have the former and pioneer Commissioner for Public Security and Safety, Edo State, who has foreign training and of course had a lot of experience in terms of tackling insecurity and of course bringing property and safety in our polity. And of course she is Omololu Ojehomo. Big thanks for coming, Omololu Ojehomo.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
All right. Having served as the former and pioneer Commissioner for Public Security and Safety in Edo State, I will always want to take our minds back to when you served under the Obaseki's administration. We'll look at funding of security architecture, and of course looking at how the funding was like and how it enhanced public safety. What has changed between your time then as the commissioner and now in terms of funding in tackling insecurity in the state?
First of all, I have to say that we have to be kind. It's not about comparisons, it's about continuation of governance. No government is expected to finish everything in 8 years.
Absolutely.
It doesn't work. Yes. So it's building a foundation and the next governor coming in to build on that. During Obaseki's time, everybody talks about the security vote. I don't know how much comes into Edo State. Probably if you Google it, it will
800 million.
Okay. Now, if you notice that the Edo State government during Governor Obaseki's time supported the police, Nigerian police force, immensely in making sure that they had mobilization and they were able to function properly here in Edo State. We also had the Edo State Security Network then, which is now called the Edo State Security Corps under Governor Okpebolo. This structure was started under him. And this was to bring vigilantes working with the Nigerian police force, because all of us know that the Nigerian police force is under-manpowered.
Absolutely.
They need support. And so these vigilantes acted as a support crew towards them.
We're starting under him, but we're not funded. We're not paid.
They were not paid because it just started. When it started, it was ordinary citizens that actually got it together.
But what is that volunteering?
No,
to start something and then you're not paying.
No,
of course, even as a governor, he receives salaries. He receives salaries. So, what's the point? You're keeping issues of security in the hands of some persons, and then you are saying that they are not going to be paid. What is the sense out of that? Because we had this challenge.
This is, again, you have misled the public by your statements, and I will say this calmly, because he did not start it. It was private individuals who started the Edo State Security Network, the vigilante groups. These were people who belonged
like
to
people in their streets.
Yes, in their and belonged to certain associations in Nigeria. And this started after the NSAS. Remember the NSAS?
Yeah, it was
protest?
2020.
And then they attacked the police station. The police abandoned the stations.
That's
we had
true.
no security. And then a group of people got together to start this.
Okay.
So this was noble. At that time, they had one person working in Government House who also supported them, had nothing to do with government and had nothing to do with Governor Godwin Obaseki.
Okay.
So it was a good idea. Some people saw it as a structure to use for intimidation and stuff like that. That always comes up.
Always.
But again, Obaseki put it under the Ministry of Public Security and Safety to give it structure.
Okay. Okay, but if you look at that time when he was the governor, we had challenges surrounding, the state, most especially as regards to court violence and killings. We can say that at least we can breathe some fresh air under this current administration. What do you see as the responsibility or his failure to act in that state to make sure that he was able to curb the aspect of court killings and violence?
Well,
would you say he failed in that?
No, I wouldn't say he failed in it.
Okay, how will you score him when it comes to the aspect of court violence and killings?
What you want is a black and white space, but there are gray areas. And the point is that, yes, as the governor, he's going to take either credit or he's going to be discredited for anything that happens in the state, whether it's his fault or not.
Because he's the chief security of the state.
We're not going to make him look bad to make someone else look good, because everybody is doing well. I've always said that Governor Okpebholo is doing well. We'll get to that. But what I will also tell you about Obaseki is that with the security votes, he did have a security council. He did not function alone. He functioned both with the Nigerian Police Force and the armed forces, and also with some groups, other non-state actors that also functioned within the state. Now that structure being brought under the ministry was built. We had over 2,000–3,000 people that were trained in Ogeda Police Training Center.
Of course, yes.
And all that. Okay, my ministry biometrics every single person in the communities that were part of this vigilante. We did not have one group policing everybody. What we had were people from those communities who helped us, including the Fulani, including the Ijaws, our water people. They were part of this structure, and that was what brought down insecurity, because everybody had a part. You can't go in, can you go into the creek to find anybody?
Because you don't know the terrain of the creek.
You cannot go into the forest to find anybody. You cannot. You need people from all, there are good people in every community.
Of course, there are good people, bad, ugly. True.
So we cannot just, stereotype a group of people and say they are all bad or they are all good.
Okay.
Now, what Okpebholo has done when he came is that he has now continued with it, though the name changed for whatever reason. He had his mishaps, especially with the barbaric event where the people were brought down from the trailers and,
when
killed.
they were coming from the north.
There's nobody who gave them the permission to do that.
Absolutely.
All of us saw it was jungle justice. There was no law to it. He immediately acted on that. He moved to make sure that he pacified the north, because he didn't want a full-fledged war, which would have happened. And then he went ahead to invoke the law. And now invoking the law means that everybody is in state action. He brought back people who were already there, that had been working to make sure that these things don't happen. Okay, for cult activities, during my time there, it was dialogue, it was conversations. We did not use violence. There was no cult activity during that time.
Oh, and you can in the time of Obaseki?
Yes.
There was no cult activity?
Hold on.
But we had court violence, we had court killings.
Let me tell you what happened. Towards the end of his administration, and I know exactly where that came from, and I know it was triggered for political reasons. And again, there was nobody to checkmate it. The ministry there was a lapse in the ministry, and whoever they brought in there had no experience,
no idea of
what he was going to do and how to move. He was more interested in how he looked and who he was controlling and what power he had. Now, nobody has control over individual reactions or whatever they do, but this is my concern. Now, if Governor Okpebholo has come in, he cannot have a Ministry of Public Security and Safety, and it's not functioning. You cannot have somebody who has no idea of what they are doing there or what this ministry is supposed to do, because security is supposed to be number one. The security and safety of all Edo people and their property is the number one
it's the sole responsibility of government.
So what you're saying is that what we have there right now is like putting a round peg in a square hole. It doesn't fit it.
It does not fit.
Okay. Could you say that could be one of the challenges we are facing at present?
It is one of the challenges
we can take our
facing.
minds back to some reports, concerns over illegal vigilante groups, and of course we take our minds to the documentation even in 2025, even where the governor also cited it, in the Uromi killings and all that. So, would you say the governor seems not to carry the right persons along in terms of tackling this aspect of bringing public safety to the state, and of course, again, looking at the aspect of tackling the, in quotes, illegal vigilante groups that may also be causing the problems we are facing in terms of insecurity and kidnapping?
Absolutely. And the point is that there's what you call political pressures that come into play, whether we like it or not, because he did come into government under a platform, and that platform activates and always insist on certain things happening, regardless of what the governor may feel or think. And sometimes it is difficult, and sometimes if he can take a stand, then he has to be sure of what he's doing, because either he will not come back to office, or they would, they will find a way to sideline
something around him.
So he has to be very careful of what he's doing while he's still doing the necessary things. But I found out that he's sending 50 million to every single local government every month. To pay the salaries of 300 vigilante personnel that exist in those local governments. Now, most of them are active.
He's paying that
since January.
Local government.
Local government.
This is supposed to be under local government funds, and
well, we will get to that. Okay. But you say, what does he do with the security vote? It is the governor who gets the security vote, not the local government.
No.
The local government
it goes to the chief executive.
They also receive.
You're talking about the disbursement from the security vote.
Yes. So so every month he says 15 million to each local government in Edo State to pay the salaries or the stipends of the vigilante that exist within the local government. And I say for 300 people is what they have. Now, going through a lot of information, we found out that one local government has decided that they're not going to pay. They paid for 3 months. It happened to be my local government.
Can we get the local government?
My local government.
What's the name?
West local
Owan
government.
West.
Yes.
Okay. Where the embattled speaker is from. Okay.
No,
we want to talk about that.
No, wait. So the person, the local government chairman paid for 3 months.
Okay, and
has paid nothing. And even then, she didn't pay the 300 personnel. She only paid 246
Can you imagine?
And this is where the outcry has come up.
And nothing was done about it.
Nothing was done.
Nobody knows. But you see, next week, a new council chairman is going to take over from this individual, and he is going to be held responsible for what the
other person did not do.
So he's going to be struggling with this.
Yeah.
So we need her to be held accountable.
So that was exactly what I wanted to say.
This is what we're talking about, accountability.
Accountability.
And because they believe that nothing will happen, these people have no voice. They're not going to talk about it. They are afraid for what is going to happen to them. They are very blatant and about doing these things, taking the money. So I have men and women out there who are supposed to be providing security in my local government that have no way of supporting themselves and their families. And like I told you, an 8 hours is no longer
8-hour paying job.
No, it is a job.
Yeah.
It is no longer a
it's not sustainable.
Service.
Yeah.
And if you are doing this 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, it is a full-time job.
Absolutely.
And I was, to my surprise, because at the point we had the discussion last week, I was not aware of about the security vote and the disbursement from the governor every month to the individuals. And I know that a lot of things are being taken care of, and this makes me happy. So I will do more investigations to find out, okay, so this is what's going on, who is actually being paid,
and who is not being paid.
But what I'm telling you right now is that only 3 months in one local government, and so since April, from April till now,
August,
nothing. How are these people expected to survive?
Those with families.
Oh, wait, then when you say that kidnappings and robberies are happening along the Ifon Road or happening along the Auchi Road and all, what do you think is going on? They don't have any money to feed. So like I told you, if these young bloods are not engaged properly, and if they are engaged and they're not being paid, how do we expect them to survive?
Okay. Let's now look at probably those that has been engaged initially, and after a while something happened. I don't want to use the word they lose their job. They are no longer engaged. Could it also be a threat, basically, to what we are saying in terms of the insecurities and the ills in the society?
Okay, so the point is that why is if the person decides that they no longer want to be part of the ESSC because they don't feel that it helps them in any way, they are not being paid and they need to make money to feed their families, so they decide to go do something else, some other job, maybe use their skill or their education, or somebody has offered them a job, why not? Okay. And why would that be a threat to security? Now the only time, and let me tell you the truth, once they are there, they don't want to go, they want to help to make sure that their communities are safe. But the point still remains that when you have people frustrating others, and even when provision is made for them, that provision is not given, then this is where we have issues. So again, nobody knows this, and the governor is sitting there. He knows he's sending this money, but he doesn't know what's going on
with the money.
And so somebody is going to go on and is going to say, oh, you know what? The governor did not use the security votes properly. Then it becomes a political campaign. And you see, we need to be real. We need to look at government as a human that needs to progress. We need to continue with this. You understand? Government is continuous. Okay. Security in Obaseki's time started in some form, and it has been improved in Okpebholo's time. Okay. And when Okpebholo has run his term, the next governor is expected to
follow suit. And increase on the
build on this to make sure that security works.
Okay, what do you see the Senator Monday Okpebholo's administration not doing as regards building on what the former governor started? What do you see as him not doing?
I don't see that he's not doing anything. Okay, so like I told you the other day.
But you spoke about politicization of security issues, for instance, like the office where you have to focus on tackling, insecurity in the state. Being politicized could also generate some challenges in the state as regards tackling security.
It does, because the point still remains that the commissioner is the one who is connected to the local government. He is the person in the political terrain that is connected to the local governments that deal with the vigilantes, and they are the ones who can provide the intel that the Nigerian police force or the armed forces can use to abate crime in the state.
And also fishing out illegal vigilante groups.
Yes. And once it's established, because we did not get to that point before Obaseki's government ended, but we wanted to, there were specific types of IDs, they were special. And the point is that if they had the ID, because they were biometrics and all their information was in it, once the police engaged them on the road and they're able to produce their ID, once they scanned it, it was supposed to provide information and verify that this person was a vigilante. Okay. But you see, we have those cards that anybody can
just get it
to a copy cyber place and make an ID and laminate it and then go around and claim that we had issues where people were sewing the uniforms themselves and claiming to be vigilantes, whereas they were not. And they were using these uniforms to commit crime. So the point is that it's not that the structure itself does not work. Criminals also find new ways of evading. We've also had these same criminals wear soldier uniforms, police uniforms, and other uniforms to commit crime until they engage their own personnel on the road, and then they find out that these are not they are not part of the armed forces, and they drag them, take them to jail, and they are dealt with according to the law. So we have criminals every day. Scammers are coming up with new ways as we continue to abate the cyber crimes. They come up with new ways again to cheat or to collect people's money. Crime doesn't stop just because people are working to abate it. That's true. In fact, what they do once we found out and we have abated a particular, they look for another way to get it.
To come in.
That is why the security always have jobs.
Okay. Thank you. In case you're just watching, we are looking at security, accountability, public safety, and of course how the public can trust the government. And we've been speaking with the former commissioner, of course, pioneer on security and public safety, Omololu Ojehomo. Big thanks for sustaining your presence here.
Thank you.
We will be probing into the aspect of trust in governance and, of course, how the citizenry can trust the government in tackling insecurity in the state. We'll do this after this short break. Do stay.
If you are passionate about saving lives, if you desire a career filled with purpose, dignity, and endless opportunities, begin your journey to becoming a certified nurse today. Admission is now open into the College of Nursing Sciences, Igbenedion University Teaching Hospital, Okada, Edo State, Nigeria, for the 2026-2027 academic session. Here, we don't just train nurses, we nurture compassionate professionals equipped with world-class knowledge, practical skills, and the confidence to deliver quality health care anywhere.
Yeah, still joining me is the former commissioner and pioneer of public safety and security, and served under the administration of the then governor, Godwin Obaseki, Omololu Ojehomo. Thank you for still being here. Now, let's look at one decision you took when you were commissioner that, with hindsight, you would like to do differently.
Well, it was making the choice not to return back as commissioner.
Wow.
Yes, because I realized that there was a lot of I assumed that it would run smoothly and someone else would be able to take over and, you know, do a better job with it. But apparently that did not happen. And I still have a lot of the network that are connected to me that keep calling me because they felt I did a disservice to them by leaving too early. Okay. That's the only regret I have.
Okay, let's look at how the citizenry can trust the government. Because we heard about issues surrounding even the petrol subsidy removal, and of course, humongous amount, increasing allocations in the state. What do you see as what the governor can do to make the people trust him in terms of using public funds to tackle insecurity and bringing about public safety?
Wow.
Like placing round pegs in round holes.
Well, the point is that a lot has to be discussed, and I think that the governor should be given a little bit of laxity to do the needful. You know, I think that he's been disregarded a lot, and I think that a lot of the problems he's suffering from is from within his own party.
Okay.
And I would hope that they would allow him to do his job without a lot of these challenges.
Because at present we have politicization of issues of security.
Yes, and all of the misconceptions and the mismanagement of his profile on social media has also come from his own party. They are the ones putting out this information. It's a disservice to them because it not only makes the governor look bad, it also makes the party look bad. But you understand what I'm saying? So now what people are doing is they're looking at the individual. Okay. Now, but again, understand this, that as he does his work, and silently doing it, and when people go about and show it, they start to criticize without actually weighing what progress this brings into Edo State. I've seen a lot of it. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that he's doing very well. And no matter what his party is saying, I think that the grassroots, the people on ground who are actually enjoying these privileges and these changes he's brought into his governance are going to support him.
Okay, so before we go, what will be your message to that ministry where you headed and the person there right now? What? Because I'm pretty sure you're not too happy with probably what is going on right now. So send a message to the person there right now.
It's not about me being happy. It's not an emotional.
I know, I understand.
So it's not about me being happy.
But for the good of the people,
I
think
cannot make a comment on that because that's a decision that a party made to place an individual there.
Yeah.
Now they are getting close to concluding the first term.
Second
so
year,
they've got a
first term.
Yeah. And you know, they still have time to make improvements. Okay. It's an appointment. Yeah. A person can be relieved of duty on an appointment at any time and replaced by whoever they choose to put there. But I would expect that the governor this time, if he's going to replace the young man, that he actually finds a person who has the background and is willing and compassionate about the people.
Okay. Thank you very much, Obololu Jehomo. Big thanks for taking our time to be part of this discussion.
Thank you.
And I hope you oblige us. I want to thank you very much for your accessibility, of course, into our engagement on interviews.
Thank you.
All right. So, well, this much can take on this. We will be looking into the aspect of the 10 days ago when the former Speaker, Blessing Agbebako, resigned. And there was a controversy. Bad news. Now, he has been impeached. He was impeached yesterday. But how come we are impeaching, or the legislators are impeaching a former speaker that resigned? You'll find out after this short break. Do stay. Yeah, big thanks for joining us. We're basically having a very sensitive topic, which surrounds or focuses on the EDHA impeachment of the former Speaker, Blessing Agbebako. Of course, we are addressing the outcome. Just last week, we saw the resignation of the former, Speaker, Blessing Agbebako, and of course, having Yekini Diaye as the current Speaker of EDHA. And yesterday, something happened where they had to reveal that, well, the proper documentation of his resignation was not done. And so as a result of that, they physically impeached the former Speaker, Blessing Agbebako, that resigned last week. Joining me to discuss this is a seasoned legal practitioner, a custodian of the law, Dr. Patrick Awo-Osagie. Dr. Patrick Awo-Osagie is also a clergyman, a senior pastor of Faith Pillars Gospel Center. Big thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Leonard, for joining us.
It's quite awesome to catch you quickly, because I was almost thinking you were going to take a flight outside the country.
Out of the city.
Oh, yeah, but thank God you are here. Now, let's look at your attention, your reactions, or the grounds you have with the impeachment process of the former Speaker, Blessing Agbebako, that resigned last week. Do you see the impeachment as what counts?
Well, from what we saw in the public space is that he resigned from office. He said he was asked to resign by the governor. He said that himself. So if a man said, I have resigned, and you're talking, all you need to do, you could call him, oh, we didn't get your, we've had people resigning in organization, back and forth, you know. You could resign and say, well, there are certain things you need to do, conditions you need to put in place, like letters of resignation, as it were. If that was not contained in all he did afterwards. But he has publicly come out to say, I resigned. Resignation cannot be translated into impeachment in that circumstance, because I, for one, believe that that's the law-making body, and I wonder why they are playing with abusing processes here and there and making derogatory comments back and forth. I believe we should be more civilized as compared to what had been the issue prior to now. If you wanted to impeach him, just go on. 17 men would have stood before the governor. He said, the governor, you heard him. He said, they asked me to resign, and I'm resigning.
But would you say the governor, I think it's rather to say, the governor advised that he should resign, since the pressure is coming on from him, from the Edo State House of Assembly, not necessarily from the governor.
It's what he said, I'm quoting him.
Yes, but if we see the tussle, there's been a tussle in leadership, and we understand. Yes, and we understand the fact that he was formerly in the PDP and he joined the APC, and of course, even in spite of that, he was also having these troubles. Don't you see more of political realignment in the configuration that happened in the leadership, rather than the mere sayings of misconduct, you know, not able to carry the people along, the legislators along, and of course even misappropriation of funds, corruption allegations? Don't you see it more of political realignment rather than all of this?
It could be. It could be. But what I want to say is that misappropriation of funds is not today's talk. It's always been in the front burner.
And the reason why they should impeach.
It's always been in the front burner of all they say all the time. Even the governor now, they will tell you it's misappropriated fund. I've heard that. I was surprised. You know, some people saying that too.
About who?
About His Excellency, the governor himself. So everybody can. These are mere allegations that shouldn't bother anybody. So if you say you don't, I don't really consider this a serious talk. Somebody said I've resigned. Whether it's an advice like you are putting it, that's fine. I don't know if you had a private discussion with him where he now discussed with you that I was, you know.
No. What I'm saying is that he was not under pressure from the governor, doctor, but from the assembly, from the Edo State House of Assembly, not from the governor.
Hold on. I'm saying it appears you were with him, that the former speaker spoke to you personally. And
No. I read the letter. It was an open letter, yes. I read the resignation letter where he said that he was advised by the governor to succumb to the pressure from the leadership of the House of Assembly.
That's fine, but
just for peace to reign.
I agree with you. Whether for peace to reign, whatever mode it had come, whether by an advice or by giving him certain conditions, as it were, the party men are not happy, as it were, it doesn't matter. He has said, I have resigned. I resigned from my office today. I was supposed to be there to lead this and that, and now I have resigned. And that's suffice.
Okay.
It's
Doctor, under the doctrine of separation of powers,
yes,
we know the three arms of government are separate. They are different. Their jobs are not the same. Chapter 4 talks about the legislature, 5 talks about the executive, 6 talks about the judiciary. How can an independent arm of government and another arm is telling him to resign? Like, let's look at it from the constitutional perspective as a lawyer that you are. Is this right in the right sense of a reasonable man? That and I wanted to bear your mind on that. Of course.
We're not operating anything like near close to separation of power in Nigeria.
Wow.
That's what you want me to say.
Okay.
But one of the occasions, you know, I will say it. I don't have respect for whatever you want to pass around here.
Yeah.
You know, if the legislature was absolutely on its own, as it were, and everybody. It's always been like, you know, the executive gets all.
It's always the executive is always.
Look at the way look at your constitution you mentioned,
yeah,
you know, and compared it with other constitutions, Senate climb, you will understand that even democracy to a great extent will not be what Nigeria needs in the sense of it. I know you don't like to hear words like that, because a lot of people don't even know what they want. And people have been installed as Androids and phone, downloading them from the Play Store, and putting something so that they can act. Because I don't see any reason why someone will say I was elected, and we don't know what it means to be Who moved the motion for independence?
Exactly.
Read.
Exactly.
Read about
Chief Anthony Enao of blessed memory.
And even on
Ojukus and the likes.
You know, you can understand what it means to say we are going for the sitting, we are going to the House of Assembly.
Hallowed chamber, as they call it.
Chamber, whatever we put it. You know, the point is this. It's not like a joke. I'm sorry. With respect to everyone there, I don't know. What are we dragging for? And I hear people dragging, making comments. Is this what we should be saying now? Is this the most burning thing in the States? Are these the things? Are these the way to make laws when folks are busy molesting people here and there, and there are laws that are there backing it, and they will still tell you they are operating? Or somebody is talking about kicking money here and now. That's not, I'm not digressing. I'm trying to say, if you are going by the separation of power, Montesquieu has given us a blueprint. Then they must be absolutely independent of every arm. Is the judiciary absolutely independent?
Okay.
These are
you are a learned personality and a custodian of the law.
Yes.
I don't know what will be on the mind of the former speaker, Blessing Agbebako. Of course, I'm trying to rack my head on if it's possible, where on the pages of the Constitution, on the pages of the rules of engagement in the House, where it's possible for the lawmakers to impeach
someone that has resigned.
That's what it's impossible. And again, could this bring grounds for litigation?
Well, the man will not have to join the show. See, I have so much respect and regard for the Blessing Agbebako. I've not known him, I've not met him, I don't know him before. I'm not a politician, I don't play politics. I just observe and take my position. If the man said I have resigned, then what is the problem? If you know he has not perfected certain, you need him to put it formally in writing. You said you even read his resignation letter. I didn't read. I didn't see that. But now he said I have resigned. Then why bother him with impeachment?
Probably his resignation did not pass through the appropriate process.
Like they said.
Of course, because they have their rules, they have their standing rules.
I agree they have the standing rules. What you could put it, there are times lawyers file applications that are not competent.
They'll ask you to refile again.
We just want the court to know. Hold on, we just want the court to know
that there's an application of this sort.
I'm filing, and the court will know that you are trying to say something.
Yeah.
And the court will just throw it away. And they will not say, okay, because of this, we'll not throw it away.
Yeah.
If there are two motions in court, and one is seeking to amend, the other one is seeking to strike out, the court will consider the one that is to amend.
To amend before they talk about strike out.
Let's see if there's anything to go back.
Yeah.
That's basically what we are saying. The man said, I have resigned. If you are saying he didn't do it right, he's not coming to contest or to perpetrate himself in office still. He said, I have resigned. All they needed to have done is to call him and see how, come on, perfect this thing well. And when he fails to do that, then you can now
move the motion for impeachment.
But you get it. That probably is still trying to do something else that we don't know, which I don't see how that could happen when somebody else is already seated as speaker.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Let's look at the speakership. Can we now call it somewhat a do not speakership kind of thing? Because he is from the north, that's Agbebako, from Owan West. Yeah. This new speaker is also from the north, that's the senatorial district now. Can we now call it a senatorial district thing? Because there are other members in the House. Okay, and so do you see it from that aspect?
I'm sorry, like I said, I believe in quality leadership. I believe in intelligent folks doing the right thing at the right time. I don't really care about all those things. Like I said, the political class will come to tell you this from our side. I don't know my side. As far as you're a governor, a Muslim, a Christian, whatever you are, it doesn't really bother me. Hold on, let me land you, ask me a question. Now, if you are saying this from Edo North, and then the
new one again is from Edo North,
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
As a person, I don't see anything wrong with it. It will not change anything. We need same people. We should stop playing tradition, tribalism, and region and what.
No, we could understand that. At least the governor is from the central. Because we have the deputy
from the south.
So it's expected that the speakership will come from Edo. But that's not the contention.
Yes, we have seen it happen in that way, and they still didn't move forward.
Exactly. But what do you see as the lessons for democracy? And of course, going forward, what should be the business of the EDHA rather than what we're having now, under the leadership of Right Honorable Yekini Idiaye?
Obviously, he knows what to do. He's in there now. That's why I got him. They just, elected him, or how do you call it now?
He was elected by the same members.
They elected him today. They already have their plans. So there are always things to do. It's about this what you must do and what you mustn't do, and this how you should go about it. You must carry us along. Most of the time, carry us along.
Yeah.
Have to do it
Financial fiduciary sharing of money. Of course, that is the truth.
I was thinking carrying them along is for the good of the people.
The good of the people.
Are you saying it's just for personal
I'm not
advertising?
saying that, but it's not written anywhere.
Because we understand that there was an issue of procurement of Lexus.
The Lexus vehicles, LX570, for the principal members of the house.
Yes, now questions being asked is, are they there to serve themselves?
Exactly, or to serve the people.
We want to see them engaging the executive. We want to see them carrying out their oversight functions. We want to see them carrying out projects like the issues of the infrastructural decay we have on our road.
The roads.
Even, I don't know if you've passed through the Benin Agbo Road recently. And all of this saga. We want to see them going there.
Oversight functions.
Yes, exactly. But they are still in their offices.
Some are even in Port Harcourt as we speak because they are lawyers. They are cruising in Port Harcourt in the NBA conference.
Yes, in the conference. I will join them.
Feel there.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. You see, the problem with our people is that we keep the same people that want, you will not elect the kind of leader that will do the job. You see, that's the problem. There are people that we have that can really do
the job, but we don't elect them.
Be elected.
Okay.
Because they are not those that are being sponsored by some.
Did you even find their way to even becoming candidates of parties?
That is what we're saying.
The money politics and, you know.
What do you expect of a man that he just picked from somewhere and asked to do something? What do you expect? That's why I've never been a fan of political structure, you know, because I see it as I will always bear my mind. I've said it before, if I were to be a governor, I will only be there for 3 years. The 4th year should be for the deputy to consolidate and get a result out of it, because I don't think there's anything special about leadership in that sense. It's all about inspiring the people. It's not somebody perpetuating himself to be speaker, I must be here,
okay, thank you.
I will be here and there.
We're going to be having one more question for Dr. Patrick Awosage Esquire after this timeout. Do stay.
The land of Owan is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic and socio-political ties. However, irrespective of their subtitle differences in language and culture, they share common traditions. The people are known for their hospitality. Owan traced their origin to Benin Kingdom. As a result, for a man to find a comfortable place for living, the name Owan was derived from the largest and longest river in the area, which is known as Onwian or Owan. It means one who makes merry in affluence.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The EDHA impeachment of the former Speaker Blessing Agbebako is what we're about, and we still have the Dr. Patrick Awosage Esquire with us. Now, going forward, let's look at how there can be legislations that can better serve the people. What do you see as the way forward in terms of taking the 8th Assembly to the next level?
You know, we talked about, like I've said, we should have the people. Everyone is elected somewhere. And the people should be looking forward to those they can really trust, that can do the job, that can represent them well, not serving some other bigwig somewhere. I think that's basically the challenge. And if you say democracy is about the people and, you know, the quality of people that are voting counts. So if you have poor-oriented people, they go out there and they just be given some stipends to vote a particular candidate, and it becomes whatever he is. This are the kind of things you see. Because I believe, if you go back, just Nigeria, just go back, like I mentioned, Anthony Ahoro and all other great Nigerians that have done so well. You know, there was a time people would say this was, and there was some David Mark, when the gay thing was dangling around, and he said even if they will not support us again. So you can see there was so much money, and somebody could stand and say, this is what I believe in. This is affecting our people. You know, not somebody who became speaker somewhere and 628 million was expended to be part of money to renovate a particular... I'm not talking about anybody, I'm just telling you. So these are some kind of things you see. Don't bring people there as if it's a place to go and loot. Okay. We're in the gold mine to put some money. You are there to do something and affect, affect your people.
Now, why don't you see the electorate as helpless? If you're talking about bringing the right people in there, don't you see the electorate as helpless? Because it starts with the political parties and, of course, how they mobilize those who get the tickets.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just that, there was a common saying in the Bible, number 16 precisely, when they said in our own eyes, reporting back to Moses and Joshua and Caleb, he said, we can take the land, we have grape, we have this, we have good stuff in the land. The other 10 guys said, oh, we were like grasshoppers in our eyes. How can that be helpless? Look at the Australian election. No matter how you want to put it, there was some state presence, federal presence heavily on ground.
Somebody said if they wanted to win the election, they would have won it anyway.
That's what somebody said. He could have won it anyway. Why did he not win it? Because the people were there to repair it.
He said the president don't give me the authority.
No. I disagree. If that person made the state, he's just talking for himself.
Okay.
Nobody is bigger than the people. I'll tell you the truth.
That's the truth.
I'll tell you the truth. That is the position that we must begin to see it in that angle.
I said that to say this because we could see even some who rode on the back of the then Labour Party presidential candidate, Obi, that later defected from the Labour Party to the APC. So the Labour Party.
Can I ask questions? Who are they? Where were they before? I don't study the antecedents of their person. That's the point I'm making. It's not just to say I'm in the party. A party don't make your character. Your character is not made by a party. Who is that person before he joined the Labour Party? So it's not being a party, like my daddy would say, Adam Soshomole, I love him so much, and he said, if you join our party, your sins are forgiven. Isn't that true? That's a joke. And that's just a joke. Go and commit some crime and your sins can never be forgiven.
Okay, let's look at the future of the embattled, impeached, resigned from, because we don't have two letters. One is resignation. It's controversial.
And I could take first in time. The first one is what we take. That's
the first one, actually, from the information I got from the Harlow Chamber, he was impeached last week Monday, not yesterday. But let's leave that aside. Let's look at his political career.
Okay.
He has gotten the ticket to go back to the House, but as in the primaries. He won the primary election.
Okay.
So do you think his political career ain't going to have issues? Because you're going back to the same, one, that's on one hand. On the other hand, last week he was also suspended for 3 months. So it means for 3 months, the people of Owan West ain't going to get representation and all of that. Let's look at his future after now.
Excuse me. Now what I want to say is this. I don't know how he got in.
Yeah.
If the people loved him, he was made by the people, then the same people will stand for him. But if he was made by a big man somewhere, or some clique of people that say, young man, we can pick you up and you can be there for us, and you will go against them, obviously you're out. So that's how Nigerian politics work.
Okay, but if you talk about the people, again, there are also concerns raised that even people from the
Owan West,
they are not happy with his leadership.
Who are the people?
And of course, the
people, the citizens.
How many of them?
Why some go there to do the business of legislation?
All right.
Questions are being asked. What happens at the floor of the House?
Exactly.
What happens behind closed doors? Now, again, we take them there to represent us, for instance, and you see them not carrying out their oversight functions. You see them rather doing their personal thing. Don't you think that's again the challenges that some are having from his constituency, where they seem not to be carried along, they seem not to see him as doing the right thing why serving as a member representing the constituency?
Well, it's to carry them along. You know, I've always said, is it to come and give them some money? Maybe the money has been given is not getting to some hands and they're angry. Is that what is the carry along? Is
maybe
it
constituency projects, for instance?
Constituency projects coming down to his locality and maybe nothing like that. They should also
accessibility, for instance.
Accessibility, obviously.
That's the problem. Even here, it's difficult to get
to get the attention. We were supposed to have a new majority leader with us last week. Several. He turned it down.
And sometimes we wonder what is the essence of
he was supposed to be with us last week Tuesday.
Yeah. Sometimes we wonder what's the essence of them serving in that constituency without engaging the media. Again, we also, about 2 or 3 of them, but it declined. Now, don't you see this as misgivings, misfits in terms of what they should have been doing in educating the constituents and, of course, carrying the people along as regards the business of legislation?
The question is, well, how savvy is the person? Does he really understand what you're going to be asking him? Some people are media scared. They don't want to come. Maybe they're going to start asking.
Public officials are media scared.
I'm not telling you.
The majority leader of the House.
I'm telling you the truth.
A majority leader, for instance.
With all respect,
the questions will be asked. Why are you a majority leader?
That's the question I should ask you to. How did you get there? I should be asking you questions now.
But this is a call to action anyway. I don't have anything against him. Again, prepare you, please. Take some time out and engage the media. A lot of education you do in educating your constituents, you know, via the electronic media.
You see, as young people back in time, what we really liked is you go to the floor of the house and you listen to the emotion and you look at people like Chuba Kadibo, you look at Chief Chukwuemeka Chikali, one-time minister of the Federal Republic, a young man. You know, you're so inspired. You know, leadership is all about inspiring the people. I don't think all those, it's looking at someone standing and it's presenting and is advocating for his people. That's what leadership is all about. The younger ones, they are watching. So if you can't come out to talk to the public, talk to the media, I wonder how or what you are doing. It's not a native doctor transaction. That the makers say, wait, I'll come back and 3 days time you can get my reply. So that's what it is.
The new speaker, what would be your advice, if I may, in order not to, for him not to also resign and be impeached again, because it's becoming so dicey. Not to of the embattled former speaker.
You see, one thing you must understand about this. He must learn from the former speaker, President Agbebako, and then he must understand that he needs to bring the house together.
Learn from the mistakes.
Yes, learn from what
led to his impeachment.
Obviously, it's part of it. You know everything. So you must learn that maybe some persons are not happy with him. It could just be like, you know, so a few hands just has saying things. Even Jesus Christ was voted against, you know.
Of course.
And they said no. So it's not about who wins and that is getting the right stuff.
When you say some persons are not happy with him, you remember you said it has to do with some financial, you know.
It could be. It could be.
Are you saying that the current leadership should share well?
Obviously, you should. I don't understand, but what is a share well in that contest? If that has been the standing order, you cannot change it. Exactly. If you don't have the balls to fight, or you resign also. So if you want to remain in the office, if they are conditioned, you know, these are the ethics that rule this place, and then you have to. Like some, I for one, I don't attend functions. There are functions I don't attend because I don't say that I was chairman of a particular function. I only spend 3 minutes there. I greeted them because all you want me is to bring some money.
Is that why you're doing Port Harcourt right now?
I will be in Port Harcourt I'm going to be there. Okay. I'll be there, but I don't think I don't need to catch up with old friends. I need to go there for the conferences and then get out of the place. I think that's basically what I'll be there for.
All right, let's open the channel for the Abuja studios to ventilate in the Benin studio as regards questions for our guests. Over to you, Emeka.
In conversations there you're having in Benin, I've been listening to Dr. Awo Sage, who has been, you know, dishing it out as facts. Over here, we are to discuss the issues surrounding the proposed INEX, that's the accreditation exercise, the mock accreditation exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission. We are looking at how feasible this will be. You know, it is just about preparations ahead of the 2027 general elections. How feasible is this? How feasible is this? This is a question I would like to ask Dr. Osagie, who is in Benin at this point in time.
Well, I believe we didn't get your question properly, but we will be taking a short break, after which we continue with this conversation. To stay. Joining the Abuja studio once again to join in the conversation or see how issues surrounding INEC can also be put into the front burner. Over to you, Emeka, if you can re-ask your question on the guest.
All right. I would like to engage our guest in Benin City over the proposed accreditation exercise, the mock accreditation exercise, which the Independent National Electoral Commission intends to carry out in November, in preparation for the 2027 general elections. I'm asking how feasible this exercise will be. Will it really prepare INEC even further, for the forthcoming election?
INEC, I would say it's somewhat late in my opinion. It shouldn't be what we get started like that now. I mean, the way it is, I think the timing, they should have put more. I don't believe in this fire brigade approach to things, but it's fine, and we'll see how it pans out, and then we hope for the best. That's all we'll do. We just hope for the best, because I think the time I kind of made the limited, a short time. I think it's not going to really work too well, but I don't know, they could still perform perfectly in the course of time. It all depends on how they put their structures in place and they ensure the acquisition process goes seamlessly, but I hope so. It's just in the way I see it.
Can we take a look at the fact that this would actually, there will be funds, appropriated for the conduct of this mock accreditation exercise. Over 1.2 million ad hoc staff will be deployed in the 2027 general elections. That's according to the INEC. But this particular exercise, I'm sure a whole lot of persons will also be deployed to carry out this exercise at various locations across the country. We are looking at the funding, and then the personnel that are going to be used, and then the materials. I think it's one thing for us to have the beavers working, and then the personnel being able to use these materials effectively. And the other thing is about the conduct of the electorate, as well as other key players in the electoral process, especially the security officials also. So we have to, I'm just trying to ask what should they also do in the aspect of preparing other persons who may be a part of this process?
earlier on, and in adding to this, the timing for me, and again, you know, logistics as it were, it's not what you need to play around. And essentially, I think security agencies should really be should be their best way of behavior in that sense of rather than favoring a particular party, but they should be neutral and ensure their safety in all. You know, going to do things like in my mind, I will always advocate for early preparation and proper, you know, doing stuff. You don't have to just jump into it the way you feel they have deployed money. You know, most of the time it's not done properly, truth be told. And that's where I have a little issue. I just, okay, now we're going here, we are accrediting this, we are going to different location. Benin City or those states, as it was, not that small, and I know that there are people that are deploying materials, getting to, you know, misplaced materials, going to different locations. You need to put logistics in place, and you need to check this and fine-tune it well. Not just wait until it's a few days and few weeks and then you start running here and there. The fire brigade approach, like I earlier mentioned, I think that is what we should watch out for. See, we can always achieve it if we want to do the right thing. And I hope those that have sinister intentions to manipulate process and see what they will do and then to win people over, I think these are areas we should also look at for. And I will also encourage the media to also be very much present and also to follow through and expose whatever is not right. Yes, I know we have our media regulations, and but when things are not going right, we should be able to speak up. Other than being there, security agents are there, those that have been, that will be accrediting, they are going to be doing their jobs, and they are being protected, not to be harassed or intimidated by big wigs of political party, because that is basically what I see that we should do. And everyone has to be on deck. Election is not a one-man show, it's everybody's own, whether you are participating as an electoral candidate or one who holds brief for a senior person in the political party or who is in charge of certain things you need to do. I think it's good that all hands should be on deck. Don't say I'm Muslim, pagan, I'm Christian, whatever. We should come together and do what is right, because the state is what has given us the platform where we could all function and do what we need to do.
All right, thank you so much for answering those questions. One more thing, you are talking about timing, that this November, you know, scheduled date for this exercise is not really that good, considering the fact that we'll be going to the polls in January. Why are you saying so? But is it not proper that this is done ahead of the election, so that the INEC will know where there are lapses and then know areas where they need to actually improve in terms of delivering what people can be termed as a quality election in 2027?
Thank you very much. You see, I talked about timing. Now, November, it's not, I know it looks like, oh, it's kind of far. Do we keep to time? Do we work with time? In civilized crime and some other very, you know, where people, you know, you see, you give somebody some instruction, they'll tell you we are coming. This so-called African time is what I'm talking about. And that's why for me, if it's going to take 3 months, I would have expected that because of the way we behave, you know, if we always keep to time and do what we ought to do on time, then I don't have a problem. It's not as if the time is not enough, it's the way we behave. Will they saddle with the responsibility today? Will they be able to pull through and get things done within the specified time? Or they will tell you, oh, or they will now begin to play around. That's the angle I'm talking about when I mention timing. Yes, it's a good time for those in some spline. They will tell you they work with it and they just know. Now somebody says, okay, Oga never come, Oga is coming, or we are here now, we have been waiting for him. He says, don't worry, I'm on my way. You know, the idea of, these are some of the areas, we should take it very seriously. Like somebody in the theater that needs to be operated on, where the neurosurgeon, the doctors are together. So that's basically what I'm saying. We should take election very seriously in this country. If we really want to get the best, not that it's for them, I'm coming, or the Oga never come, and you'll be calling, sir, what do I do? You should know what to do. And we should get busy, and we should tie everything to time, and we should be exposed. Because the moment you breach the time of certain activities, then you are invariably trying to truncate all that needed to be done.
Yes.
I'm actually also concerned about this aspect, most especially when we look at the off-cycle elections. I know the off-cycle elections, again, are not enough as litmus test to talk about how the 2027 election is going to be like. But again, one thing is, after even having this mock election done, what are the lessons that INEC will be taking in terms of the beavers, in terms of how to organize the that change
that may happen at the end of the day
in the real election. So we're looking at a bigger picture. So do you see this as mere, arrangement just to dazzle tension and make them feel good?
Well, it may look like that because over time I have never been comfortable with the election results. That's very true.
Not just you alone.
I speak for myself.
A lot of people, no matter the lessons we get from the mock, is the detail that matters. The result of the main election. A total blackout in terms of activity.
Or no network in my village.
Imagine.
So these are some of the things. So there should be alternative ways to getting things done. Well, it does, see, if we want to get it right, we can. That's the truth. And that's why I really encourage the people, everybody, we should come together. If you really believe Nigeria is your own and you believe in this country, come out all. Show yourself. Don't just say, well, I don't belong to any party, or you are looking for. And another funny thing, I talked about the quality of those that are voting. Because you cannot take that. A hungry man, like Professor Patrice Lumumba of Kenya had said, he said, it's our stomach that leads the Africans. What you want to get, everything I want to give me. That sentiment, that mentality is the problem. Though the moment you can say no, stomach infrastructure, that's the word, that you are thinking of what they will give to you and not get transport to. They're already selling yourself out. Such a person should be probed. What are you saying? Because the moment you start saying, well, we have no right, no road, is this not the time you should come out and think well and look at? I think that man, no people, and now they are characters, not just debate. You just come in and come and talk. Who are these persons? They grew up within. Check don't we have record? Do they have criminal record? Do they have misbehavior? Did somebody commit some offense back in time? Let's start checking their character, because your character hardly changed. That's the truth. Because if you've been a notorious person and then you have come back now with a big abada and said all things are well and then we can go all. I think that's the problem. The people should be able somebody said about Salisu Buhari back in time, the speaker then, and then he said he did not attend Toronto University. Okay, why must it be there? That's bad belly. Why did you not say it before
he entered? Exactly.
You should have. So don't wait after they have wasted and now he has been elected.
Because it should be a pre-election issue.
A pre-election issue. Matter, so people should keep speaking. This person, it's a convict. It's like he has done something bad before. Let's know, so that we can know those that are ruling or leading or guiding people. We should know them. And this issue of money, I think is in my opinion,
money back politics.
We must understand that there are basic things. The basic things the government needs to get to the people cannot be overemphasized. We shouldn't, like we mentioned, I'm just digressing now, the buying of luxurious cars for, what are we doing with all of that? Bad roads, and we are talking of, look at your constituents, look at the people there. Are you happy with them? Is this what Awolowo did that you read before becoming a politician? There's none of them that don't mention Awolowo. They will tell you Awolowo. They will tell you what's the man's name again? Nnamdi Azikiwe. Not even Azikiwe. Talk about Tafawa Balewa and all these men. Is this how they did it? Forget about the coup that killed them and how some of them were put in prison for treason and all those stuff. But look at their work. Look at their work. A man coming out of prison to criticize the so-called first act and telling you, let's put money somewhere else. That's Awolowo now. And then they said, no, we must project the dignity of the black man. Look at it now. Is that where we are? Now, this is where we are. So we should start thinking. Because every decision you make today is going to affect you tomorrow. Whether you are in leadership, whether you are not, you are buying Gary in the market like me, we are buying Bunga together, we will enjoy it together. So if you destroy it, the opportunity to do the right thing, you will suffer, I will also suffer from it. That's how I see it.
So and even posterity will suffer as well.
Yes, of course. You won't have posterity. Is it not where you are?
Okay.
One more question, please. Let's take a look at the fact that funds are going to be, I think I've asked this question before, but I need some clarity here now. Funds will be deployed just as it will be deployed on election day for this particular mock exercise, I mean mock accreditation exercise that is being proposed by INEC. Is it not just a waste of funds if this is done and then in the end the election is conducted just as it used to be conducted, and a lot of persons will see it as an exercise that did not meet the standards expected of it? Is it not just duplication of spending of funds, which government will always say is not available?
Of funds, in my opinion, trying to get things done, and just like footballers that go for trials, they go for trainings and
before the main event.
So it's part of it. You need to be acquainted abreast with all you'll be doing on the said election day. So you need to be taught. There are many of our age folks and even enlightened people. Yeah. They need to get used to it. The beavers, the IRS and all whatnot, they need to know what it is so that you don't go and put your hand there. At times they give you, I put it there. You don't even know what you are doing. You don't know which one is your party. You don't know the way you want to. So these are some of the things. So I don't think it's waste of money. And we must also get something clear. When a government spends money for things like this, I think we should applaud it. It's something good. But again, we must also ensure the money is spent appropriately. And that's where meet the viable objective. Yes, if it's not, then they should be prosecuted. That's why we have courts. And prosecuted and jailed for doing that. It's not that they just took small money. There was a woman in this country, Professor, what's that? Dora Akunyili, blessed memory. Now, that woman was giving money to carry out an operation abroad, and she came back with the receipts and all she needed. Everything. So I think that is what we should do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patrick Awo-Osagie. Big thanks for giving us the opportunity to engage you on this. Pleasure. Well, there's a much we can take, and from the Benin studio, we will be joining the Lagos studio where Messalina has a lot to take off from. Over to you, Messalina.
Philip, we're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV. And of course, Dr. Ohai is here with me. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Very well. You're looking good as always.
Thank you so much. And also, our guest that would help us unpack today's conversation is Mr. Razak Olokoba. He is a political analyst. Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much, Nina.
Thank you so much for coming.
Good with the doctor.
Thank you so much.
Nice combination.
You're looking better. I like
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So today we are looking at campaign financing. SERAP demands transparency from INEC ahead of 2027. The Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to disclose and publish the limits on political donations and campaign contributions ahead of the 2027 general election. They made the demand in the Freedom of Information request as of August 22, 2026, addressed to the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amopitan. And also they gave them, 7 days to provide the requested information, warning that it may take legal actions if the commission fails to respond. According to SERAP, what it wants is what they're asking INEC for is how it intends to monitor campaign spending during 2027 election, how it's track cash and non-cash donation, how it monitors social media and digital campaign financing, also how it prevents people from using third-party to intermediaries to donation limits, and also political parties' financial statements, audit accounts, and election expenditure return from 2023 to 2025. INEC report on the examination and the auditing of political parties' finances. So they're asking, this is what SERAP is asking INEC for. So what we're going to be talking today, this is the conversation we'll be having today. Like I said, our guests will help us unpack today's conversation. Dr. Ohai, let's hear from you.
Great. I'm glad that we have you here. You're a numbers person, and the first question I want to ask is, in this country, is it realistic?
No. Okay, you are doing the No. Because I'm talking about realistic agitation. That was what was in my mind. See, SERAP is doing an amazing job.
No, without any
the guys
doubt.
there
yes,
are
yes.
my colleagues in the struggle, in the trenches together.
I know him well.
We've been arrested together. We've been all sorts of things together. in the name of in an attempt to bring back democracy.
Yes.
They are doing a very good job. And I know it's not off the limit at times when they make certain demands. It's important to, even if you know that this agitation is not realistic, not because the political class may not be willing, not because INEC may not be willing, but come to think of it, let's put a biro and a sheet of paper in front of us.
Yes.
I begin to look at if a president will have to go to 36 states of the federation, if he needs to talk to 774 local government members, and if he needs to run media campaign, if he needs to prepare for people who will be delegated at elections, this is running into billions already.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that what we design for ourselves at times, it may look contradictory if you are the one that is also now saying that why are we spending this much? It's a design. When the president moves around, he moves with an enormous number of people. It's not his making. We designed the office for him.
And vehicles.
So it's not him. You design the vehicles for him and the office for him. He will go about constitutionally with a number of aids, security aids on, if it is a particular subject matter, for instance, on security, they'll be enormous. If it is on energy, the experts and officials, public officers on energy from various agencies will have to travel with him. That's how we designed our office. Despite the fact that there are foreign missions in the country is going to, and those foreign missions are tabulation and synopsis of what Nigeria is doing in each sector that will have presented Nigerian case along with the president, assuming he's going to the UN. But no, we designed in such a way that the minister must follow him, the minister must have PA, the president must have ADC, this and so it's not the making of our guys in power at times. And that's why I need us to follow a design part for our leader. Design part is the sense that we have to look at the structure we designed for ourselves. The system of running election is expensive. But what setup is trying to say is to say that we have to do something about it. It might not be saying it in the appropriate way to me. Because you can't disturb any party from spending money to travel around with because the president will travel, you go with party officials. So where are those money coming from? It's donations. And you can't stall party activities in the middle. You will say that because of prudency, ADC, Accord, NDC, PDP, APC should not run the affair. So for us, we have to, SEDAP needs to join us.
Sorry,
in talking about our institutions. Let's design,
But just to refocus this problem, what SEDAP is doing is not limiting. SEDAP is saying, tell us how much. Let it be
Give
public now.
I'm preparing the mind of Nigeria. It's going to be huge.
Okay. So when they say it, then the next item is tracking it.
Now,
so even my question to you is that tracking, is it realistic? Because as we go on in the program, we will unpack the various elements that go into campaign financing. But first thing SEDAP is saying is, within 7 days, INEC, let us know what campaign limit is.
Exactly.
If it is 1 trillion, tell us so that we will know from now. Then the next thing will be accountability, how the inflows and the outflows, and then if there's any net and what happens to it and all of that. So
I'm just taking from the future.
Okay.
And the future,
you're going to the future.
I'm thinking from the future back to where we are.
Okay.
Because if you have to start calculating that now, I know where we are getting to. And where we're getting is that the huge is very huge. Why are we in this kind of situation? Is the way we design our institution. We have to design our institution in such a way that Lina, me, or you should be able to contest for the president of this country without having any bag of money somewhere. But it's not possible. So it's going to be huge. Let's know that in our mind. And then, in knowing that, let's then begin to say that let's pull down these expenses by ensuring that it is the responsibility of the government institutions to make certain provisions. For instance, the platform for debate should not be, I want to go and pay for one expert to gather Atiku around. It's possible. That will produce candidates like Obama. We will produce candidates like Clinton. Of course, we know Trump is rich. We are going to produce candidates like Papa Ena Oro, who ran his campaign with a bicycle and won against someone who used the machine to run his own campaign of those days. That life is possible, and I think that is what Serap is doing. So that the summary of what Serap is doing is what I'm giving you. That Serap wants a society where money bags will not be the one that will be a permanent stakeholder in our election. That's where Serap is going. Because Serap knew already. He knew what he was doing. He knew that by the time we arrive at where we are going, Nigerians will say, wow, is this what you used to run campaign? I can't blame anybody for it. So it's what you have designed for ourselves. So I agree with Ina, if it is possible to do that within 7 days, I agree. And we have to also join Serap. My own in joining him, I know where we are going to arrive. That's why I'm saying that. Let's think from the future. Those funds are too huge. And that is why it is impossible for people not to get there and say that my people, I need to do something for my people. It's not possible. You can't do without it. And that's the pattern all over the world. The way they do all over the world is different from our own. It's not that I'm going to remove subsidy. I'll make my friends happy when I'm in government. No. It's attached to service. The person that gets the highest honor when David Cameron was there was one Indian businessman. He's a party person. He honors him. The highest honor in Britain. He gave it to him. He didn't just give it to him. He gave it to him because he was a party man that has done tremendously well for their party in terms of donation, using his aircraft and all sorts of things. So for us too, we will get there. You see, I don't know how many regular people will save in Nigeria to buy a house. I don't know how much a regular person will save to be able to buy a car. With the current, there's a property that someone bought less than 20 years ago for 5 million. Today it's sold for 50 million. So
come to my goodness.
So that's some outrageous. There are properties in Lagos where the land alone is about 10 billion.
Yes.
So this type of thing is what makes society looks as if it's not designed for certain people. But we must run. We have to run a society where it's also possible for regular Nigerians to have a car and have a house. We must arrive there by sequence. Mortgage is there. There are places in the world today where if you want to have a house, you don't need to have money. Just go and put in your hour. Even if you have advance payment, you have to design such a society. And that's the area where Serap is talking about that. We must have a society where even people who ride Okada can become senators.
I feel
people who are regular civil servants and resign and say, I want to go and contest, should become senators. So for me, INEC should be able to answer Serap in line with what he has said. With a professor that INEC is not, Serap is not going for INEC. INEC should know that. I'm not going for you. I know where I'm going. I just want to establish the fact that these monies are huge. One and two, that is that let's look at how you can curb vote buying, because that's the genesis.
Exactly. I was actually
when you have money to throw around, that's when you start thinking of how to. Well, when there's no money for every end has been, then you have a program.
You know what
can my party do?
What Serap wants at this point is just how can Nigerians have a free, credible.
Yes.
If they don't, according to them, if they don't know who is financing the political parties and how much money is spent, how are they going to know? You know, they just want to know how the money is being spent, who is financing this whole thing. They just want INEC to, give them estimates, give them breakdown, track the records and all of that.
Now, it's not going to be a 7-day affair. It's going to be a prolonged battle. No, they will resist it. They will resist it.
INEC.
No, INEC. The people who is targeting will resist it. That's why such issues must be a thing that has to be prolonged. There are ways that have been designed. The INEC will not even have anything to do with it. You will not know. So, but to start with, something must start. When Serap started now, I started now. That's a good one. Every young Nigerian must buy into what Serap has said. Yeah, sure. Joe. If they don't want to be coming on social media and be abusing every person that is older than themselves, the way to think about future is what Serap has said. You live your own time, but the Gen Zs will produce leaders that will be worse than the current leaders that we have now. So the action to what SERAP is doing by buying into it. They shouldn't be looking at how we get our money. It's a fortune they're talking about. So that vote buying will be eradicated. Already, Togri hooliganism in election is going gradually. Snatch a ballot here and I take it to somewhere else. You can't fit in because there's a security feature in name that it will not fit in when it gets there. Yes, that's a particular area and local government. So it's a shared responsibility. We are in it together. So for SERAP too, I need him to prepare his mind and head that 7-day window period that he gives is not possible. But it's a step in the right direction. We have to support SERAP. We don't want people on the strength of I have money, I will win this election. In my own state, that's what is playing with the current crisis that they have there. The person that is there today is saying that Kwara is saying that no, I will discard everybody. I don't want to mention. The money to buy everybody all over is with me. We don't want that kind of politics again. See, we are not going anywhere with this kind of a situation, and that's why I kept saying that. I say you must understand the challenge you have, and challenge you have. You must also realize that 90% of it is a structural issue, not the person that you are throwing Sultan at in Abuja. So if we keep taking these issues one after the other, we our problem is just ordinary anger. Our problem is technical, and technicality means that knowledge. So INEC has some and SERAP has some bundle something now that all of us must pay attention to. That our hands has been tied. You can't do anything saying that you should not spend this huge.
You mentioned something about votes buying. Votes buying can be eradicated with the way poverty has been weaponized.
Yes, it's possible.
You think so?
All problems be done in isolation. You have to address all challenges you have. You see, it's not the absence of guns that leads to police not doing well. When there's an economic depression, it leads to a corresponding which answers your question. When there's poverty, there's moral depression too. There's poverty. There will be people who will be willing to say, I just want to eat this afternoon. I don't think about the next 10 years. Just give me this food. I want to eat. I'm hungry. Since yet I've not eaten, I say I should not buy. So as you are addressing poverty, you must also be addressing other challenges like this. So you can't say that let's do poverty and leave the institutions. As you are doing the institution, because human will run the institutions. And if you don't in the right state of mind, you are wasting your time. As you are addressing the institution like is also address your economy that you have said. Is this you that will come and take over the pros? They have prepared their state of mind. We are just talking about one video now. We get to that point. We get to that point because the family, what destroyed the family is the system that destroyed the family. But the family has a role to play. So in repairing the police officer, daily police officer has done now, we must also repair our. So it's a simultaneous thing. You can't be living, and that's the argument many people have with us that you can't do everything together. If you don't have anything together, if you want to do eba now, you won't boil water and put it down and go and buy gari. Gari must be ready, water must be ready. It's a simultaneous thing. So in resolving our problem in Nigeria, which I kept saying that is all hands must be on deck. The president might be willing to do something. I might not be looking in this direction. The SERAP has raised it. I don't look at every issue. Is that all of them are spending money. They don't even know. Many people in government don't even know the direction where their problem is. It's Nigerians that point the direction to them. So the SERAP issue raised the SERAP has raised is a very, very huge issue. Let's have our country back. It shouldn't be for one particular class. I'm not opposed to where they say it's only the middle class, low class should be in power. All classes of people must also be in power. If you have billionaires in power, I'm not a billionaire or chief. That's his own high moral standard that we use to influence governance. Let him also be a governor of a state. So that we marry our wisdom together to make our country great. You know, Clover is a rich, so me, I'm not. So I'm not saying that. So I'm not saying that let's marry all our resources together, so that we all get there. So for me, I will advise INEC that INEC should accede to what SERAP has done. Let's know the limit of the money you can spend. Let's know the limit of the donations you can take. It's not to be a huge thing. If it means SERAP should go to court, let us compel INEC to be able to do that. You can't have an unlimited donation for a party and we won't know that it's party. It's an affair. So let INEC do that one, and let also Nigeria build a barricade around this demand. It's not for only SERAP. All of us will say that in unison. So you can't fold our arm and assume that it's automatic. Good governance is automatic. It's not automatic. You have to push. You have to make good governance work. You have to make it happen. You have to ensure that all the things that to make good governance possible, we have to be part of it. Particularly the young ones. Because it's the young ones that I have the cross of the matter to. They are supposed to be the conscience of the nation. They are supposed to be the one that on their own understand the policy that's going to be damaging to their future. But they seems to be not to be having interest in that. And that pains me. That pains me to the marrow. This issue of SERAP thing, it's actually talking about them. Where do you have a 30-year-old person to have 500 million to become a House of Rep member, if that is age, if age 15 at all? Where will you get that money? So what SERAP is saying is that it should be possible. It should be possible. 90% of American men are not billionaires like Trump now. We know their financial capacity. They are not billionaires. We want that kind of society too. And at a time when Enahoro moved the motion for independence of Nigeria, I was sitting behind him. Move this motion, Enahoro. Move it. I was close to Enahoro. When the session, I was sitting behind him. And then I was telling him that we are doing this for your own generation. If you bungle, that's your problem. We are gone already. And at that time, I was above 50. I know I was young, at the age of less than 30. You have to move this motion. And he did it. It for the first time, it happened later. I know there is there in our history today.
Did you say you were there when he was moving it?
No, I said
I heard something.
Awo was there.
Okay, I thought I heard. I
said
I was there. That's what I heard.
Awo was there. Sorry, thank you very much. Awo was there with him. I said I was with Baba Enahoro when he was relating this experience to young people.
That's clearer now. That's clearer. What you thought? I was going to ask you.
No, I was one that was relating it. So it was. I didn't read it. I didn't read it. Yeah, thank you very much.
If you have a rejuvenation period,
I didn't read it in a book. It told me over and over and over and over and over and again a story about our society, the role of the youth, what we must do, and the need to mobile young people to be mobile. So for the young generation, this idea that our money should not be for the younger generation, and they have to own it.
Okay, so I'm still taking us back, you know, because we're giving not necessarily more credit, but we're assuming things on behalf of SERAP.
Yeah.
What SERAP is asking is very clear.
Yeah.
Let us know what the limits are.
Yes, that's correct.
The issue of, don't spend and all that, that may be a future agenda of SERAP.
Yeah.
So I just want us to let's look at what are those things that go. Because before we begin to say campaign is expensive, or everybody you can ride a bicycle and still campaign. I mean, I've been there, so I know exactly what it's like. So, but first, one line item, and we can begin to break it down. Leave the travels and logistics. That is on its way another nightmare altogether. Leave also the issue of people who come and say, I have 1 million people behind me, that you have to mobilize. There are those who are crowds, who rent a crowd. That there is money for that one. But on election day, polling units, hundreds of thousands of them around the country, each polling agent is mobilizing bribe. Is your there, so that in the hot sun he can at least buy a bottle of soft drink. He will also not be tempted. He will also be able to transport himself to and fro. Right now they're talking about maybe 20,000. This is at the governorship level and all those other levels, 20,000 times, even if it was just 100,000 people, that's a lot of money.
And that's the point I'm making.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and there are costs that you can't run away from.
Yeah.
But what perhaps Serap is trying to say is, INEC, can you break this thing down? Give us an estimate. And the reason, which is perhaps why I want you to help us with, is, you know, having established what it is, whatever the figure is, personally right now, I don't think Serap is worried about that. But let us know. Do that estimate. Once we know, so that the issue of round tripping, the issue of people, all sorts of illegal things, or Russia sponsoring a candidate, let's know the sources and all that, may not come up. Can we address that? Because I think what Serap is doing is looking beyond just a poor man cannot go into it. There are levels. You know what I mean? That if you don't have money, you cannot. The party is supposed to support you.
Yes.
There are, okay, let's break it down. Because let's start with, you talk about sources and application of funds.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sources of funds.
Yeah.
Where do parties raise their funds from? Before we even begin to talk about whether a poor man can do it or not, how do parties raise their funds?
Well, there is numerous source. There can be donation. Donation in the sense that your manifesto speaks to Nigerians.
Yes.
And there are sectors that manifesto is in favor. For instance, if your manifesto is in favor of the energy sector now, you see the Dangotes approaching you that, of course, you are a good party. I like your manifesto. How can I help you? So those sources are there.
But you know, like in the US, there's a limit to how much they can donate.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That has to be established. That sources, donations, that the benchmark.
Now we're talking.
This is the limit you can go. There's also the party membership, which they can be benchmark for that.
Yes.
Because your party number kept increasing.
Yes.
And you cannot stop me from having 50 million members as a political party.
So if they pay 1,000 each,
if they pay 1,000
a month,
it will probably be higher than the party that has only 500,000 members. And that is why I'm saying that the design of political structure in Nigeria and how you run our campaign is huge.
Sorry, before
so that
what about incumbents who they say all contractors donate a certain portion for the campaign? If you have senators,
as an official.
Yes, if you have senators, they will donate. All the officials and all that. I mean,
if contractors donate, if he's not compelled to do so, that's not illegal.
They are compelled.
If he's not illegal, if they are compelled, that's illegal.
A percentage of
if
their
a senator has paid his dues and all sorts of things and is compelled to also pay another money, that is illegal also. And like all of us are always worried about that. The money for those vote buying, we want to block that source. That's one of the center thing that that's number one. Number two is that the harassment, financial harassment that we give other parties, like upcoming parties who don't have that
war chest.
No, that unlimited against party who do not have that on the day of election, they see other party with money doing certain things that they cannot do. That's what influence voting, and that is even where vote rigging begins with. It's not until you start ballot, you send for people's away. That intimidation of see what these people are distributing on the day of election, which is illegal. So all this, if you put it together, is the reason why our election is having issues. So for me, the advice I will give INEC is that INEC has been trying to do everything to make sure that our election has credibility. This area also is another area that INEC must also look into. INEC has tried to block so many.
You have gone into a second part now, which is the application of funds.
Yes, the source is what you have established.
Yes.
That the donations can come and there must be a benchmark. For members also, that one is unlimited. You can't benchmark party not to have certain members. That one is unlimited. But it must be in tandem with the number of members you say you claim to have. If you have 1 billion now, and you have a social number of parties, how did they arrive at that 1 billion? That's the transparency they want. That your account should be transparent, because politics is about my life, about the life of other people. So we have a right to ask your question party and your party questions. It's not a personal thing. The party that's going to preside over my life for 4 years, it should be a public affair. The way they run it, who is going to emerge as the party chairman, how is funded. It's important, and that's what SEDAP is saying. You can say that the other organization don't know how they run their life, but party affair, because what determines the quality of democracy is also the party. So the way you run your party will have effect on our democracy. So on the application of fund, what are the things that a party is legally permitted to spend money on? On the day of election, are you permitted to give water to people who are in the queue for voting? Are you so? Those are things that INEC must also immediately bring to the knowledge of the public, so that we know whether what this party has done, so that ignorantly on the day of election or on the day of campaign, things that party do that you assume is illegal may actually not be illegal. So all this information are very important.
All right. So do you think INEC currently has the capacity to effectively monitor campaign financing?
Of course they have.
Do you think
but I'm convinced beyond doubt that they will be sabotaged. Yes, that's why they will need the help of Nigerians. If you look at the EFCC, I've been not working directly with EFCC, but I've always been spending resources, not financial resources, but my own energy to campaign for EFCC. If you resist arrest by enforcement agency, they will use all sort of a form to go after the person. You want to arrest somebody and he's hiding in a ceiling. They will ceiling. But you see Nigerians saying that they are infringing on his right. They are not infringing on his right. The right has a definition, and it is not complete if you do not also define it that your right is your right, but the right of person you engage must also be protected by you, so that your right will not be flouted. And an enforcement officer should not be harassed. And part of harassment is when you make his work difficult for him. So INEC too, we have to do
arrest
everything.
warrant is different from search warrant.
Yes.
They're two different things.
Yes.
And so
no. Arrest warrant is go and arrest somebody and the person is hiding. They will look for him. That's all statute.
But if it's somebody's premises, you have to have a search warrant to go in there.
No. Where will you arrest somebody? It's not floating in the air now. It is out that they will go and they will put house address there now. That this is where the person is. And when they get there, and he kept hiding under. You
have to establish that if it's not there, you can't break into the house.
When they break the seal, they find it. Eventually,
unless you get a search warrant, you
can't
break into his house. You have to establish first that at that moment in time he's there.
See,
if not,
somebody, the experience with EFCC is always very fun. When you talk to them, they will have given address to these people and say he's not living there. They will have got to about 10 addresses. So eventually, when they see him anywhere, they have to pick him. You can't
they see him.
See, you can't be creating problem for the solutions. So when we get to court, we go and sort it out. That's what it is. When we get to court, and they will tell the court that they see, we have sent letter to 10 addresses of his house, and he kept dodging us. I know there are surveillance on the side of enforcement agents, so I know that one for sure, and that's what we caution them about too. Don't make your case a bad case. No, diligent. So INEC too, we have to make sure that we give them the required support that they needed. If you keep making this kind of excuses that all the institutions should not be trusted, they won't work. For instance, now, what SEDAP has done now, if they try to move now, particularly if the opposition party begins to complain about the method of INEC. You see Nigerians saying that what are they doing? They will forget that the Serap that is insisting that the certain thing must be done, which should have been done in any way. So if they start doing such things, we must give the required support to all the parties. Either it is APC, either it is PDP, either it is INEC needs to do the needful. But what I'm saying now is that the role of the people must also to know that once an institution is going after a sector, there will be a reaction definitely. And that reaction is what Nigerians get emotional about. So this issue now, flowing from what Senap has done, INEC must express that capacity. And sabotage in the sense that you see party resisting it now. And they go and employ some social media influencers to start saying that no, INEC is persecuting them. No, nobody is persecuting anybody. APC, PDP, Accord, NDP, all ADs, all of them will subject themselves to this scrutiny.
So let me share, sorry, please, a personal experience so that it throws a bit more light. At the end of the campaign, we're expected to send a report of how they spent money.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can't stop people from spending, but you can check how they spend
the money. That's
so
correct.
what would you say the role of audit is, both internal and external? Auditors are there to represent government as a body professionally to make sure that the accurate records are there. And then
even if you employ them.
Yes. So even if
they are your
employees, exactly. So and then if where there is a violation, what kind of measures can be taken? Can it be taken after the fact, and what kind of measures do you think are in place for?
It's spelled out. It's been spelled out already. It's been spelled out already.
Yes.
It is either the party. If the party is the one that issued that instruction, there's penalty for it. If it is an individual that compromised that standard, there's a penalty for it. See, all these are in the law. It is the enforcement as the issue. And that's why I'm saying that certain laws that looks as if cannot be obeyed, let's look at how that law is designed. And that's why I'm saying I'm thinking that from the future. It is left for us to now quickly think about giving the party the liberty to spend to these finances on themselves, instead of institutionalizing it. That if on media, the government have a role to play in the media in such a way that the excuse of spending billions in media campaign will not be there. We have done this, we have made from day one that see, you are creating an excuse for politicians to spend money on campaign by giving them the liberty to go to go and campaign. No. There should be a regional, let's make it a regional thing. Since we have adopted this system of government, regional presidential system of government, which means that the president must be accountable to all the 36 states of the federation and 7 government. So when he is talking, he must be talking to all of them. In that wise, it then means that the government must come in to ensure that there must be a design so that we don't create an excuse for them to say that it's not me. I must go to 30 states. I must speak to 74 and 74 local government. So don't give them that excuse. Let's redesign our structure, or you better go to parliamentary. So when we talk at times, we must have depth. We can't be talking at the surface of it. We must understand where we are. What gave us this kind of humongous amount of money just because we want president?
All right. You know, the Serap also asked.
That's why I want to become a governor.
Serap also asked INEC to monitor digital and social media donations. Would that be possible?
No, it can be tracked.
It can be tracked.
Yes, it can be tracked.
Okay.
And that's another thing. I want to contest election. I'm a stakeholder in election, and I'm the one appointing INEC chairman. That's not Tinubu. So nobody should be saying that Tinubu appointed his friend. And that's the challenge I have with Nigerians. When you give me the permission to do certain things, and I did it, will you blame me for that? Appointing IG of police, is that his own making? You can't blame Jonathan for that. You can't blame Buhari for that. You can't blame Obasanjo for that. It is our structure. Also, that's why when people say things like that, I say, we go school now. So the challenge I kept saying is structural. Your car is bad, repair it, it's not your driver. The structural challenge we have in Nigeria, which is the form is deeper than structure. Let's reform our own country. Like the reform now. You kept sacking your army chiefs, naval chiefs, chiefs. You are just using them as a scapegoat. The new layer of is supposed to put it. We didn't put it in place. It's not the business of army to go for peace talk. Army are designed to go and kill our enemy. You are the one sending to Edo State. He said Edo or Bayelsa, where they were coming back and they were ambushed the other time. Was it Bayelsa? About something army officer were killed. That became a serious issue. He said they should be talking about peace talk. They don't have facility for that. It's so we are misapplying our institution. So for INEC to now said it's a net. And those are the areas you are taking on Ashwaju. Now, Mr. President, you are familiar with this terrain, no? You are an authority on this matter, and that's what Nigerians should join us to do. That see, you can't do anything with this structure. We have to keep reminding him that for your 4 or 8 years, as the case may be, we need you to do this. So INEC must offer more independence to be able to act, because INEC will get to a point that you don't have to tell him he has to stop what he's doing. He won't be able to do it. IG will get to a point he may not be able to continue certain investigation. You don't have to tell him. He will know on his own that he had my bandit. But if INEC has a semblance of independence in the way that it's a career process that gets you to become an INEC chairman. It's the rank and file of the police that makes you the IG of police. That's how police all over the world are independent. It's not an assumption that is in the US. Our young people that don't say this don't carry umbrella for, they won't carry umbrella because the promotion is not designed or influenced by the political class. In Nigeria, so is the appointment of a politician. So INEC too, you have to make sure that it has more independence, so that all these tasks you are placing before it, you will deal with seamlessly. Without that, okay, you will get to a point in this thing you are saying that you won't be able to go further.
So let's do this. Looking at Osun election, do you think they were independent? I mean, INEC. Yes,
INEC was, and I like what the governor and the president has done. That's because we want to see. Election should not be a do or die affair. The reason why is the president of Nigeria is for the people of Osun, Ankwara, Kogi, Lagos, Edo, Kamfancha, everywhere. So when you come together, you want to discuss the affair for some people, and that's exactly what they have done. So INEC is a tool in our hand. It's up to us where you apply them. It is up to us. In Osun now, we apply them correctly and see the result that we have gotten. They delivered. All
right. Thank you so much, Dr. Hai.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been wonderful talking to you, and I'm hoping that INEC now, we hope that they respond within 7 days, although they're not under any obligation to set up, but I think morally we expect them to do that, and they owe that to Nigerians.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure being with you.
All right, thank you all, beautiful viewers. Thank you all, our esteemed viewers, for joining our Lagos Network studio this morning on ITV. I am Marcelina. Would be handing over to our Benin Network studio for the continuation on CMI. To stay with us.
It's time to talk. It's time to think. ITVN Radio Special Events Committee presents Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Urumu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves. A very beautiful morning to you and welcome to the news update at this hour on Independent Television. I am Amara Chukwu Azuka. The Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has assured that his administration will continue to fund and support contractors handling road projects across the state to ensure significant progress before Christmas. Governor Okpebholo gave the assurance on Monday after inspecting ongoing work on the Uromi Agbo Road projects in Esa Northeast local government area. Said the projects were progressing despite the challenges posed by the rainy season. The report is presented by Zainab Mohammed.
Governor Monday Okpebholo said the rainy season had limited construction activities that could be carried out, making drainage works a major focus at the moment.
The work is progressing. By the grace of God, we're looking at between now and Christmas what we can achieve.
The governor said the state government would continue to release funds to contractors as resources become available. He reiterated his administration's commitment to providing contractors with the resources needed to sustain work on the projects. The governor expressed optimism that the projects would improve road infrastructure and ease movement for residents and motorists, particularly during the Christmas period.
This is how far they are going. Our own is to make sure that we do our best to see that we fund them. As President released money to us, we also use the money to fund them. So we continue to strive to see that progress is made on this road.
The area manager of the construction company, Setraco Nigeria Limited, Mr. Mitchell Ewu, said the Uruwa-Uromi bypass road would be 9 meters wide on each side, concrete median and straight lightning along the route.
Now we can see the drain executed, which is the hardest step of the project and which will take normally time with contractors. After that one, it will be equipment work, just to build up the road with earthwork and then to reach up to asphalt.
Mr. Michael said securing the right of way for the 18.6 meter road, in addition to a drainage corridor of about 20 meters, had posed a major challenge. Zainab Mohammed, ITV.
Moving on. The Edo State House of Assembly has formally converted the resignation of former Speaker Blessing Agbebakun to an impeachment. Assembly correspondent Joy Obarisiagbon reports that the Edo State House of Assembly Fund Management Law and Judicial Financial Autonomy Law of 2023, which sparked a protest on Wednesday last week, were finally amended.
Following a motion moved by the Majority Leader Sunday Ojezeli and seconded by member representing the Sako Central Oshoma Ahmed to impeach ex-Speaker Blessing Agbebaku on grounds that his earlier resignation did not follow due parliamentary process. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Yekini Idiaye, confirmed the conversion and reaffirmed Agbebaku's suspension.
What attempt to be resignation is not resignation, it is an impeachment.
The former Speaker, Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, did not resign based on parliamentary practice. Hence, the resignation has been converted to impeachment.
Speaker Idiaye further directed that all government properties in the former Speaker's possession be submitted to the Clerk of the House before Friday, August 28, 2026, warning that law enforcement agencies would be deployed if the deadline is not met.
We have no option that we act in law enforcement agent to go after him.
In the same sitting, the Assembly amended 2 laws that had sparked a protest by legislative staff and judiciary workers last Wednesday. A bill to amend the Edo State House of Assembly Fund Management Law of 2023 and another to amend the Edo State Judicial Financial Autonomy Law of 2023.
To allow for check and balances. This bill does not in any way imply that there is no autonomy.
The House also carried out screening of Mr. Ambrose Ayewo Yakilome for appointment as Executive Chairman of the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB. The nominee was subsequently confirmed. From the Edo State House of Assembly, Joy Obaisiagbon, ITV News.
Away from that, Muslims worldwide will on Tuesday celebrate the Eid al-Mawlud, which is the birthday of Prophet Muhammad. Muslims in Benin City are getting set to mark the day, just as some Muslim leaders express their readiness to celebrate the day. Adeze Ibe's report is presented by Efosa Uwangwe.
Eid al-Mawlud, which is to mark the birth of Prophet Muhammad, enjoins Muslims and citizens alike to be encouraged to reflect on compassion, humility, and service. The day encourages Muslims to unite and urge leaders for prayers that will focus on peace, national unity, and mutual respect across all faiths. A Muslim leader, Muhammad Abdullahi, in an interview says Eid al-Mawlud is a celebration that all Muslims worldwide have to celebrate, saying that it's the birth of their Prophet Muhammad. He said it is a celebration that can be celebrated at any time, stating that in the global world, most of the religions have been divided, as majority of the Muslims see the celebration just the way Christians celebrate Christmas, though it's about celebrating Prophet Muhammad.
It's a day set aside by the progressive-minded Muslims who decided to use the day to recognize the tremendous contribution of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the development of humanity.
Sheikh Abdul Fatai in Abulele, Chief Imam, Benin Mosque, says it's a day set aside by the progressive-minded Muslims who have decided to recognize Prophet Muhammad to the benefit of humanity.
Eid al-Mawlud, we did one because of to praise our messenger and the history of our messenger. And that one we read that day. All over the year, till year don't come back, we see the one.
An Islamic scholar, Mohammed Gaba, says it is important for Muslims to celebrate the Prophet because of the history surrounding the celebration. He said it is something that occurs over the years. The federal government declared Tuesday, August 25th as public holiday to mark this year's Mawlud.
Eid al-Mawlud, we Muslims believe, is the birth of our holy Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why when it comes to that day, all Muslims gather together to celebrate Eid al-Mawlud.
From Benin, Efosa Uwangwe, ITV News.
Lastly, on the news updates, Lagos State Police Command has arrested 5 suspected telecommunication vendors and recovered a truckload of suspected stolen iron rods in the Ibeju-Lekki axis of the state, as part of intensified efforts to curb the vandalism and theft of critical infrastructure across Lagos. The command said the suspects Mohammed Shaibu, Musa Zakari, Abdullahi Bala, and Musa Salisu were allegedly caught stealing iron poles meant for the construction of telecommunication masts. The command said the suspects are currently in police custody while the case is being investigated at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Yaba, with investigation ongoing to apprehend other fleeing suspects and unravel the full extent of their activities. And that brings us to the end of the news at this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Amara Chukwu Azuka. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is a knowledge greenhouse.
Fury in the room. Nasarawa State lawmaker demands accountability from workers at a hospital where donations were made. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning indeed. My name is Eneja Wisdom. Welcome to TMI Socials, and here is what's trending. First of all, before we go into the details, we took a surf around the internet to pick up the stories that have been trending that you have been talking about, and here are the ones that have made it to your screen this morning. First on my list is Nasarawa APC lawmaker. He demands answers over missing 50 ceiling fans, 40 standing fans, mattresses donated to a hospital. Let's take a look together.
Remember the last time I spoke with you about those orthopedic mattresses? You remember what you told me? This man, do you know me? That's why they get under the settlement. Don't allow me to be very upset with you. Why are you lying to me? How can you tell me, oh, this is the mattress I bought? Can I show you the mattresses I bought? I bought it for my people. Now, why is the ceiling fans? Where are the ceiling fans? I bought more than 50 ceiling fans. The standing fan, I bought about 40.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Just play around with it.
Look at the condition of my people. You are telling me, you are telling me, Chewa, you are taking the mattresses around the world. I said, okay, take me to the world. Where are they? Let me see them.
You can see the fury in the room, just like I said it earlier. But you know what? This would make us wonder and even put some questions on our minds. Is the problem just with the government, or do we have parts to play? Also, some others are wondering, did these donations actually arrive at the hospital, or was it just one of those that were said and not given? Well, like I said, these are stories that you have been talking about. It's been glued to your lips and it's been trending on the internet, so I'll walk you through some of your reactions. Over here on X, we have from Bulus Paul. He says, he asks rather, the items disappeared or never arrived. Sick of our leaders and followers. And next from Slave of Truth, we are not only dealing with bad leadership, we are also going through bad citizens problem. Nigerians are not good people by nature, that's the next comment. Corruption is in the heart of every Nigerian from young to old. I hope this person realizes that he too is, he's also a Nigerian. So if you say there's corruption in everyone's heart, then there is corruption in your heart too. All right, if all politicians can always go back to check the state of what they did for the public places like this or more. That's the next comment. And this one is wondering, you know what? If they give things and they go back to check, then maybe things will be done in a better way. From Mamfe, it's about who we are as humans. It's not about governance or leadership. Nigerians are terrible until we decide to change for good. Else, nothing will happen in the country. You see now, if this man know they help again, we go say politicians are not good. That's all the comment I will bring to you on that particular story. I'll take you through the next one very quickly. A swimming instructor was caught molesting a 10-year-old. A really sad one indeed, because you would hope that when you leave an adult with a child, that adult is saddled with the responsibility of protecting that child. And I mean, you are simply supposed to teach the child to swim and not to indulge that child in other promiscuous activity. It's a rather disturbing video, but let's see it together.
Because you saw her breast already, took her to the bathroom, asking for a number. You are attracted to a child.
Speech that finishing.
After that, see, this one we don't need to come for a more load assignment. You take him inside the car. Yeah, come. Wait. Okay, stand up, please. Nonsense, man. You be molesting them anyhow, foolish man. Now you are shouting, Abi. They've not even touched you. You are talking. They've not touched you. You are shouting. Nonsense, human being.
What an appalling sight. Hearts are broken. And even though, some of us are touched by the fact that this man is being beaten, some of your comments show support for what is happening. Others are saying he might deserve worse, while others are saying, you know what, they shouldn't take laws into their hands. However would like to see it, this is a very touchy situation. Some of the comments I have here are from Digital Sniper. Drive the evil spirit out of him. Some demons don't need civility. Imagine as girls plenty for Nigeria reach, but now underage be your interest. Mental people everywhere. And the next one, for those saying female kids should be taught only by female instructors, is that the solution? Is that the most plausible way to stop pedophilia? Do male instructors not also molest male kids? We need to do better, honestly. And from Luda, that beating where they do, I know supports it. You should take him to the police station instead of you beating him like that. Any adult entrusted with kids has a responsibility to protect them and not harm them. It serves him right. From Philip Okonta, children are precious, and anyone who harms them deserves to face the consequences. But mob action isn't justice. It's just more chaos. I hope the proper authorities actually do something about this one. From Omeli, child abuse is a terrible act and should be reported to the police immediately. On the flip side, if you mistakenly buy this guy as you beat him, you will not be seen, you will not be arrested, tried, and jailed. Child abuse, totally wrong. Your approach, dangerous. All right, I'll rush through all of those and head to the next story that is trending. I think we've all seen this one on the internet. The fire service over there in our sister country, or should I say our brother country, Ghana. There was a fire outbreak, and we can see personnel of the fire service and other people surrounding the truck throwing sachet water into the building, attempting to put the fire out. Believe me, the comments are nerve-wracking, both for the reads as per funny and also for the mind, because is this intellectually correct? Well, we have the video there. Let's take a watch together. I know you're thinking what I'm thinking, but let's keep our thoughts in our heads, because it is a funny sight and also a concerning one. But you see, we have many international people in the comment section on TikTok, and what they have to say will shock you. Some of them are South Africans, and they are saying, aren't these the Ghanaians who bragged about having a gold mine? Aren't these the people who claim to be hardworking? Aren't they the ones who keep fighting us and saying South Africans are lazy? Look at the people throwing sachet water into a house that is ablaze. Well, let me walk you through the comments very quickly. The first one I have here is, hey, yeah, no African politicians don't care about their people. Heartbreaking. From Ndoda, nah bro, this is sad. African leaders must do better, guys. You see why people must go home and unite and challenge their leaders straight, because this is not it. This means if you're in a burning building in Ghana, even if you're a tourist, you are dead. What a disgrace, yet they have gold mines. I think that is a mocking one. And here from a citizen of Zimbabwe, this is the funniest-ish I have ever seen. Next we have, this is so sad. Ghana with so many resources and struggling like this, they should start fighting for their country. Athena has something different to say. She says, the water is not even reaching the fire. The public are throwing water packets while the firefighters are just walking around their big truck. It is concerning, you would agree with me, but we cannot just dismiss the fact. But I will ask the question that is on your mind. You know, let's talk about this a little. We do know that the water that firefighters use, the water that is usually in their truck, is not regular water. It's not normal water. I think there are some things that they add to it to put out fire very quickly. But how come sachet water was being thrown into this building? What exactly happened? Well, we should commend them for responding and showing up, because we know about situations where you'll be in trouble and you know, there's that possibility that they do not show up at all. But this one showed up. But how come there is no water in that truck? What prompted the people around to start throwing sachet water? What was the hope? Would the sachet water help? Not even a bucket of sand, not fire extinguishers. Oh well, very quickly, I'll wind you away from that and take you to my very last story for this morning before I wrap it up for TMI Social and, of course, for the entirety of TMI this morning. Nigerian father takes 2-month-old baby for vaccination alone after mother allegedly abandons them. Let's see the video. Damn it, man. All right, a Nigerian man, just like you saw on your screen, has sparked reactions online after a video showed him taking his baby, his 2-month-old baby, for vaccination alone. It has you wondering, where is the mother, right? Well, the mother allegedly abandoned them. It is a heartfelt video, but let's look at it this way. What if the side of the coin was flipped? What if it was the mother taking that child for vaccination alone? Would we have this same reaction? Oh, the father is a good man. I mean, it is his child. What if the mother was the one who was abandoned with the baby and taking that kid for vaccination? Would the reaction be the same? Because we have a lot of people commending him. It's his child. Oh, well, this one says it's his child. I don't see why you have to make a fuss about it. Women do it every day. I couldn't agree more. Why is it a big deal to take care of your own baby? Flesh and blood. Women have been doing this and since time immemorial, and we are still doing it. We just keep praying to marry right, while others are, sympathizing with him and saying it must be hard for a father to, go through all of this at home, because what exactly does he know about a baby? Well, there is room for him to learn. While we are giving him time to learn, I will wrap up the show for today. This is all the time I have to spend with you on TMI Social. I brought you the trending news as it has stuck on your lips and as it has been trending on the internet. Until next time, I will say goodbye for now. My name is Eneja Wisdom. This is the end of TMI Social and, of course, the entirety of TMI for today. Until next time, goodbye.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.